All right, so we are hoping to run this broadcast here for you, or the show for you tonight up to the usual time in which we go for. But we are experiencing some uh, bad weather condition out there, so we hope to run it for you tonight. Welcome as we wait on the team of panelists to join us tonight on the program. Closing argument here on Truth 96.1. This program comes on Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. up to our sign of time. So today marks the 18th day in the month of November, the year is at 2024. Welcome to another edition. I don't know which part of the world you are tonight monitoring us, but as I say, we pray for good weather that we will be able to run this program for you up to our sign of time. Yeah, tonight with so many training issues, um, so many training issues on our plate tonight, especially when it comes to our country, which we have to talk about, and then give you the opportunity, you out there listeners, to participate through the form. So, welcome to the program. My name is Ansu. I'm here alongside with Heron. I'm waiting on the rest of for the team, the panelists, to join me tonight on the program Closing Acumen. Coming on the show, this was exactly what I bounced into. Yeah, and this was exactly what I bounced into. Yeah, and really, this one it just came up by surprise because it's not it won't be no it's not part of our talking point or going to be part of our talking point tonight when the guys comes on. But I bounced into the one here and where I see the civil service agency, the CSA, Republic of Liberia. What do they have here? The initial findings of qualifications of some civil servants, a total of 2,824 employees hold associate degrees, while 9,783 possesses the bachelor degrees, and 1,885 have graduated or postgraduate, have graduate or postgraduate qualifications. A significant portion of the workforce, 9,233 employees, lacked a high school diploma. An additional 6,281 individuals have only attend a high school education. So this one, I just bounced into this one here on the internet from one of a very renowned Liberian journalist who just posted this one. Where it says here, Civil Service Agency, Republic of Liberia. So it's not an easy thing. And if you go through the comment section there, Alfonso Bani said, no wonder why Liberia has poor productivity in every sector. We have the people where they work. This one from Godson Togar. This another one says here, Christian G. Bashu say, you guys are already working at the agency. Kudos for the great job. Michael T. Yanningo, he said, damn, no wonder why the quality of our service delivery in the public sector is poor. Bealded, who is it Collins? He's some foreign. Abenigo F. Russell say, source of information. All right, and then Abednego is asking the source of information, and the poster, who is Yanti uh, Samuel Topai, and from OKC, I'm saying CSA, and then you still asking my man. So this one comes from CSA though, guys. Maybe you're not understanding what I'm reading out here. Uh, Yanti is saying from CSA. They are saying the initial findings of codifications of some CSA, a total of 2,824 employees hold associate degrees, while 9,783 possesses bachelor's degrees, and 1,885 have graduate or postgraduate qualifications. Then he says here a significant portion of the workforce of 9,233 employees locks a high school diploma, and an additional 6,281 individuals have only attended a high school education. So, wow, it comes there on I think he got it from the CSA official website on such information. So, folks, welcome to the program tonight here on Truth FM 96.1 Closing Argument. Comes on this radio. As I said, we hope to run it up for you up to our son of time as we wait on the panelists. Uh, just how we run the program for you through a very good weather, a good atmosphere tonight. We're definitely going to carry it up to our usual time, but we're still observing the weather. So we'll just keep going on for you up to 9:30. Uh, at the same time, waiting on the team of panelists to join us tonight on the program. So I'm Ansu. I'm here alongside for Heron, and let me welcome Heron. Um, Heron, welcome. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. And so it's actually good again to be back on the morning presentation of the closing argument on the Renaissance Radio 96.12 FM. It's actually welcoming again, and it's actually good to be back on the overall. I'm happy to be back, strong, healthy, with the breath of life given me. It's good to be back, and so
Okay. So thanks so much, Heron, for joining us on the program here too. Thanks so much for joining the team. Maya is the one who behind the camera, making sure that we can stream this program live. For those of you on Facebook who fighting us too. So we say keep sharing the program up to keep sharing the program, keep sharing. Invite your friends to join closing argument tonight. And another things we had on plate to discuss tonight. And the first thing we're going to throw light on the speaker is the speaker major press conference today, and also the president visit to Sierra Leone, and out in Sierra Leone for 4 days. It's a full working days. Being it will be in Sierra Leone, and also the speaker major press conference in High today. And the major statement or the important one, and any other journalist or anybody who attended that press conference will say the speaker say it again, opening that he will not resign. So while it was training in every quarters, political quarters, this an hearing again, another one surfaced on the internet, another one again surfaced uh, in the public this evening, and that was on the budget aspect. So you see it. So we had the speaker press conference already set up, so we could discuss about it, and then the budget being came out, and in which the executive have presented the budget to the House, and this time around it gone to the deputy chief clerk.
Yes.
Then yeah, so and that deputy, because the chief clerk is not well since this whole drama started at the Capitol building. Yeah, the chief clerk been absent. He's now, I know she, yeah, she's not well, so she's been out for some time now. And now what's happening now is that we are now thinking, or someone will say, someone may like to say, maybe the deputy chief clerk will have to pass it over to, will take it to the chief clerk house for the chief clerk to to go through it, to view it.
Yeah.
Then it will be like first come first serve. So you would have among the two block, the first that will go to the chief clerk house. What is happening in this country? You know. So yeah, maybe the chief clerk will take for now up to Friday uh to go through that budget sent by the executive. So it will be that first come, who come first, you will be served. So it left with the two block now to start doing follow up. But it is the budget have been passed over to the deputy chief clerk, and we're getting information that it has been passed over to the majority block. Yes, it has been passed over now to the majority block. So two things happened today. Very important things happened today, in which we are now looking at where the country stands. Right after the speaker press conference and making some strong statement about his resignation that I will not even resign. The 3 hours later, uh, executive then passed the budget over to the deputy chief clerk and now on to the majority block. And maybe it will go to the chief clerk. Then they will pick it up front, and will decide whether whether it goes to the majority block or it goes to the COFA team, the COFA block. But again, someone was sharing idea with me today, and I said, hearing, it can go to the deputy chief clerk or the chief clerk. It can definitely pass it over to uh, the COFA block.
Mhm.
Yeah, if it goes to the COFA block, if the COFA block cannot have a quorum, then they will have to send it back to executive. Then executive will take it out to the majority block. They were just sharing the idea. I just it was what they were sharing with with me, saying because it must reach the speaker, so that maybe it will go to him. But since the speaker block cannot form a session,
Yeah.
so you have to what send it back, right?
Yeah. They can
Uh,
say that.
yeah,
But
send it back. Then now we have to take it out to the majority. But let's wait and see. Since it gone to the deputy
chief
chief
clerk.
clerk, let's know whether it will go now to the clerk or whether it goes to the majority block. We only hear that it been passed or to the deputy. The other information about and the deputy chief clerk is also with the majority.
Yeah.
So it's in the deputy position now. So someone said, but it's already with the majority. So it's the reason why we just say majority.
This whole budget, the whole budget issue. And so, one thing I always get from the speaker, and he don't mean just what only is the aspect that has to do with say I will not resign. Let go by the law. The law says 49. If you guys cannot reach 49, then so definitely I will not resign. And I think that's it. The law is the law. Let's follow the procedure. So now, as it relates to the budget, whether you go to the majority block, the leader speaker, the laboratory concern now is that the budget should be passed on the record channel.
Okay.
It should be passed on the record channel.
So
But it should be passed.
Yeah.
That's the main issue it should be passed.
So who's doing the Liberian people job? Let's welcome seeing Chief Tammany George. Yeah, let's welcome him to the show tonight. Chief Tammany George, you are welcome. Welcome, Chief.
Hey, Ansu and Henrik, good to see you guys. It's good to be back on the closing argument tonight. Today is November 18th, 2024. We glad to be back and to do the Liberian people's business. Before I go further, let me say that tomorrow we have Justice Kabina Jane on the show to be on our show live with us tomorrow. It's no secret that what's happening in the country is a reminder of our dark past. To have the Liberian Constitution being violated flagrantly is something that concerns everybody. It should concern the entire citizenry. There's no time to play games and play politics. I spoke to the former finance minister, and he said that the process has always been they drive to the Capitol building and present the budget to the speaker. It's like a official ceremony.
That's the procedure.
That's the procedure. But to see the executive branch, when you ask them, they say, "Oh, they're consulting the lawyers." And I'm told that within the circle of the presidency, there have been disagreement there. The legal minds are telling the president, "No, you should follow the law. Take it to the where the speaker is." It's not issue about majority or what numbers or not. It's the speaker. He's still the speaker. He has not resigned. He has not been removed. So you don't go to somewhere else and give it to a clerk. The acting clerk take the budget and carry it to the other guys, and they think that is all to it. But we're gonna see what happens, because a few of them go and discuss the budget. It's a divided house. It's not coming from the speaker. You take it to the Senate. I agree. The vice president, he was a presiding officer. The budget is not addressed to him. It's addressed to the pro tem. And the pro tem, I can tell you, I'm sure that she will not take that budget and say, "Well, we discuss it." Okay, because for the budget to become law, they have to concur with the House, and then they go to the president's desk. But again, I will say this publicly: President Boga should be blamed for what's happening. He's aware of what's happening. Initially, I was trying to gain the benefit of the doubt, but it's no secret. The president has injected himself into this process. I don't know for why, but he's not doing justice to the people of Liberia. He decides in the midst of looming crisis in the country to take a drive to Sierra Leone by road. And what's so much in our visit to Sierra Leone? You're leaving this important issue to go to Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, you got the Guineans coming to our country, our airspace, taking out in the military faction and taking somebody from there. And the last time, according to them, this guy Sherry should be in court tomorrow. So bring Bali tomorrow in court.
Yeah.
But I'm told by Sherry lawyers that Sherry have been taken to Guinea, and he might not be even alive right now. And that's not good. And it's a dangerous thing, very dangerous. And when you tell them, some of our friends from the thing that we play politics, for me, I'm not into the politics business. Politics is over. I'm only here for the Liberian people. Yes, forget about what happened in the past. It's over. Right now, I'm independent minded. I'm not thinking about any side right now. I'm concerned about Liberia, because history will tell us that when these are things that led to crisis in the country, that brought crisis in the country, and we are treading that dangerous path again. And before I came on the show, I got this thing from from Africa that says, next door neighbors. Let me see. Yeah, it said that next door neighbors, Liberia and Guinea, on Monday begin the process of fortifying the borderline linking the two countries amid concerns from Guinea that dissidents are in Liberia recruiting former rebels of the Liberians United for Reconciliation and Development, Lord. On Monday morning, this morning, AFL troops were seen arriving in Vonjima, Lofa County, as both countries mount their presence to cement the market area. This comes just days after the Liberian government turned over Ibrahima Khalid Sharif. Guinea says has been the point man recruiting former Lord rebels in Liberia. Now, how will the Liberian government turn over someone to Guinea? Especially they say the man, they're accusing the man of something. Now, you got ECOWAS there. You got to turn this thing over to ECOWAS and say, ECOWAS, yes, is your citizen. Okay? But now, what we see happening is troubling and should concern everybody. Some of us, we witnessed, most of you guys are young, but I remember vividly when we started hearing gun sounds was in Liberia. We started hearing these troubling things happening. And people start hearing gun sounds, next thing people start running. And I don't want to see that thing happening in our country again. But if all of these things are happening, it can lead to it. People can take advantage of a situation and get involved. So we should be very mindful of what's happening. But it appears our security forces, our government is not taking heed of it. You guys are enjoying themselves. You got a group of lawmakers getting their pay. Okay? Getting their pay. And they're playing games with the Liberian people. And you think it's a joke. But they have to be careful. Okay? And the speaker today spoke strongly. You got it, Speaker Kofa comments today. You got it?
Yeah, we're hoping to play very shortly. We're trying to get it off the play. We'll play.
Okay, you get it, you can play. Yeah, hello? Ooh. Yeah, I was talking about, but I'm on live right now. But I'll call you back. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can play. But it's a serious thing, though. And people are taking it for a joke. No time to be joking. Don't take it for a joke. Liberia is heading on the wrong path. On the wrong path. We got people who felt they were fired from their jobs. They are disgruntled. They are making noise too. You got people who felt that they were wrongly dismissed. They are disgruntled. Someone in the security sector. And you don't know that country that you know who got arms, who don't have arms. You know who got what and whatever the case. And you playing with the people's lives today and think all is well. But now until things start to, you got ECOWAS. ECOWAS went into Liberia to try to get involved in it, to make things cool. And you rejected them. And they okay, yeah, play it. Let me hear it. Thank you.
We can play now.
Yeah, play it. Let me hear.
Yeah, play.
In fact, I will ask them for the first time the complaint against me must be tried in public. Let me the press, let me everybody. We will try that case here. I'm going to the Liberian people business. Simply look me in the eye, you afraid of me, or you afraid I will do something. I have already committed. I will recuse myself. I can stand here publicly and say, so help me God, I will recuse myself the minute that complaint is constitutionally lodged. So that's no issue. The majority will have to find another excuse. So those who, every day they send their bloggers out to say the speaker coming resign. We call a press conference. And everybody, the speaker coming resign, the speaker coming resign. Resignation is an option. It's a voluntary act of mine that I will never give to a majority black or to anyone.
To use their time and resources. All power is inherent in the people. The legitimacy of any institution is given by the people. We are gratified that the majority of the Nigerian people stay with us on the side of the rule of law.
To heed this cause, our heads are blooded, but not bowed. Our backs are straight. We can face the Liberian people. Our vision is clear. On this journey, we will stand squarely on the side of the Liberian Constitution. We will stand squarely on the side of the rules of the House of Representatives. Any other thing anybody wants to do, you will do it without our acquiescence. The law is the law. We must proceed by the law. You want to remove me? I don't want to be there one more day past 49. The minute you get here 49, you will see how I pack my office so far.
All right, Robin, the frozen. Hey guys, saying the studio frozen too. I think the guys are frozen too. I think the guys in the studios have frozen, but let me continue. That's the voice of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Jonathan Funati Kofa. I think we have problem in Monrovia. I think power outage again, I'm sure, because the guys are not on. I see they're not on. But that's what we're having. Yeah. That's what's happening. But anyway, we continue until we get back. I will reconnect with these guys. But that's the speaker. Amidst calls for his resignation, a rumor that he's about to resign. He just made it clear today that he's not resigning. He's also said that in order for him to resign, go to do it the right way. So that is, the guys should go before they bring the matter to the plenary, to the full house, and they will ask him to recuse himself. He will step aside. Someone else will preside as acting speaker for the day, acting presiding officer. The guys who want him to resign will present their case to the full body. He will be given an opportunity to defend himself for consider the due process. And afterwards, they will have some argument, counter arguments, and then they'll put it to a vote. And if they take the vote, if they get 49 persons to vote that he should be removed, like he said, When you get a 49, according to the law, their own rules, he will say, well, thank you. You guys have spoken, and you guys don't have confidence in me, and he will leave. But what they're trying to do is to force him to resign when they have not given him due process. And that's been and if we cannot continue this kind of behavior. There are some people who are not even fans of Fonati, but they are saying they got to do it the right way. Not because it has become a norm. Okay, they saw Ben Sanvee did it twice. She removed 2 speakers. So they want to try again. And the president was sitting right by Ben Sanvee when this happened. Okay, when they removed Snow and Tyler. So now they're trying to force him to resign. All the things you see they're doing right now, taking the budget, giving it to the clerk, the acting clerk, taking it, giving it to Thomas Fowler. These are all strategies they're using to force him, to embarrass him, thinking they were frustrating, to say, okay, yeah, you see, for him. But they're playing with a smart lawyer, someone who understands the law, who knows the Constitution. And he's not going to bow to the pressure. Yeah, I mean, and his 30 members that are standing with him still, they're for him. They are trying to lure these guys to join them, and the guys are refused. And they see what's happening now. So as a result, they have the budget that were given to them by the clerk, the acting clerk. Go and discuss the budget. At the end of the day, that budget will be discussed. You will vote on it, but you'll take it to the Senate and see whether the Senate will pick it up. But you cannot, it's a divided house. You can't have 30 presidents because don't forget, each person represents a district in Liberia. You can have 30 presidents that represents 30 districts in Liberia that are not part of the budget discussion. And the people come from districts that are paying taxes too. Okay, they can't be part of the future of it, the budget. You can't do that. So that's the problem they're facing. And one thing that they realize is that if they even go for a full plenary, they will not get it. Apparently, no, they will not get a 49% to vote against to remove the speaker, and they will fail. That's why you think if the guys knew they had 49, by now they always okay. Yeah, let's go. They rush to the plenary and start the procedure, but they know exactly that they don't have the 49. It will be an embarrassment for them. But what they are doing to the Liberian people is that every day the money, Liberian people are spending money on these guys every day. Thousands of dollars being spent. And they are failing to do the people's business. And they're taking the money to induce people to come and join them, which is not fair. So, and when you tell some of them enjoying, because some of them they used to gap around here, they enjoy now, so they think that, all because they have a Liberian population that's very cool with them. But you cannot keep pushing the people to the wall. We are today's November 18th. We got roughly 12 more days, less than 2 weeks for the month to end. We'll be approaching the Christmas season. People need to take pay. And if this impasse affects the people payments, definitely you have a problem. So it's only good for them to understand that they are holding Liberian people hostage because of their own selfish reason. And the president, as you're aware, he's in Sierra Leone. He went by road. So you're going to have a 5-day state visit there. It just don't make no sense that the president will be going to Sierra Leone. Why? He had crisis in the country. We agree there's 3 separate and coordinated branches of government. But at the same time, the word say coordinate. They coordinate together. One of them cannot do all the other. The executive cannot function with all the legislature. The legislature cannot function with all the executive branch. But at the end of the day, the ball reached the hands in the court of the Supreme Court, the full bench. And the full bench, I believe, won't just look at what happened and say, well, you know what's happening. They know that. The full bench won't look at it and say this, you know what's happening. So we wait to see what happens. But that's the situation in Liberia for the day. Meanwhile, we've been told that the border in Lofa is tense, and people are concerned about it. So it's about time that, as far as we're concerned, the president has not submitted his budget. As far as we're concerned, the president has not submitted his budget to the legislature. He's in violation of it. He needs to submit the budget the right way. You have a speaker that the Ministry of Finance will go to and present the budget to the speaker. But this time around, they are saying they present the budget to a clerk. And I know our friend and brother Kafuan is a smart man. I'm told that he's having a press briefing at the Ministry of Information just tomorrow. We're going to follow it and see what he says. Whether that's how they have been doing. Because they always submit it to the speaker like a formal ceremony. So let's see what happens tomorrow at the Ministry of Information. Are we on live? Are you guys hearing us? Okay. Wow. And recognize Jeremiah Kule. Jeremiah Kule watching from Mississippi Street, Greenville, Sando County. Wow. Wow. That's how far you are. Wow. Jeremiah House, Greenville, Mr. House, Greenville, Sando County. I see Yvette Cephas, Patience Siema. I see Ang Ang. I see Jolly, watching from New Israel Community, resident in District 4, Painesville. Okay, who else again? The other one by Abu Kamara, he just said, Abu, you comfortable. You get a good job at the port, so you so you're comfortable. You sit down and say that the speaker will be removed. But you forget to know, and then try when I come there, all the jobs then gone. So be sitting down talking about the speaker will move. Di Maria, watching from Pennsylvania. I was there last night around Exton. I went for our Basel meeting last night around that area. Where I go for my doctor's appointment to in Exton, Pennsylvania. Lay Connet, Fofana Momo Jr. from Broadview City. Yeah. I see Patience. I see. I don't have my what happened? I know. On Wednesday, we'll have a new guest panelist with us. She's a female. She'll be joining us on Wednesday. I will keep her name in surprise until Wednesday. She will join us Wednesday to carry on the show. But most of you guys, I'm sure, know her, but she'll be with us on Wednesday. I see Hawanatu Mansare from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Sue Coleman, the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. I see Nisia Dawon, Emmett Hammond, Yomoncho Asiru Menza, Stephen Nagba Julie, watching from District in Monserrato County, Ruben Kane, Alaska Pay, watching from India, Siliki Traore. Okay. Abu Kamara. Asada Dawson. Melvin Tape. Ramadan Soul. Abdullah Dole, watching from Zozo City, Lofa County. Wow. Watching from Sano, from Lofa. You guys, I'll say thanks to you guys, man. We see Pro Mohammed Kamara, Gabriel Dorkoden. Wow. But guys, that's let's continue. Let me just listen. Yes, the leadership of the House of Representatives has expressed disappointment over President Joseph Human Boyka's decision to submit the 2025 draft national budget to the House of Representatives presiding officer, bypassing traditional protocol of addressing it directly to the Speaker. In a strongly worded statement issued Monday, the House leadership emphasized that the move undermines the authority of his office and the constitutional framework governing the House of Representatives. We note with disappointment that the President has chosen to deliver the budget to the presiding officer outside of the usual protocol of directly addressing the Speaker. The leadership said, nevertheless, we take note that the budget is addressed to the Speaker, and in keeping with Article 49 of the Constitution of Liberia, the House of Representatives shall elect once every year, 6 years, a Speaker who shall be the presiding officer of that body. The leadership reviewed that the budget was delivered to the Deputy Chief Clerk at the RLJ's resort. Can you imagine? He is currently serving as a meeting site for a majority black of lawmakers who have distanced themselves from Speaker Kofa's leadership. We must warn all parties not to further jeopardize our constitutional scheme by attempting to illegally act on the budget. He cautioned, describing the Deputy Chief Clerk as a renegade for his role in receiving the draft budget. The leadership further instructed the Deputy Chief Clerk to immediately deliver the communication, which the executive said is addressed to the presiding officer, to the Speaker's office for proper handling. The pro-Kofa group accused the administration of violating the presentment clause of the Public Financial Management (PFM) law by bypassing the Speaker's office. The dispute over the budget submission comes amid a deepening leadership crisis in the House of Representatives. The House remains divided, with one bloc comprising a majority of lawmakers meeting under the leadership of Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala in a separate chamber. Meanwhile, Speaker Kofa continues to meet with his loyalists in the main chamber, although they have not been able to meet. That's what we are. You can't have them violating the law and accept it. It's just not the right way. And then at the same time, we have another story unfolding. Another story unfolding here. Yeah. Okay, another one is this the one that concern this one that making Librarians getting nervous. It's the one that getting Librarians nervous. It said defense and intelligence officials confirmed to Front Page Africa Monday that soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia have been deployed to Vonjima in a bid to beef up the forces in readiness for joint patrol with the Guinean counterparts along the stretch of the Guinean-Liberian border areas of Lofa County. This follows a decision of the Liberian National Security Council in fulfillment of decisions reached after a national security meeting last week. Now, there's a guy called Ibrahima Khalis Sharif. They're accusing this man of recruiting former soldiers from Lord. Maybe you don't know Lord. Lord was they were the Liberian United for Reconciliation and Development during the Liberian civil crisis. They're accusing them of trying to help remove the present military agenda in Guinea. were informed that on November 3rd, some special forces from the Guinean military flew into Liberian airspace in a military jet and went to Liberia and came to get this guy from the Liberian government's custody. The government is saying that it's not true, and tomorrow they order to produce this guy's body in court. But his lawyer is saying that he's out of the country, and he was turned over to the Guinean military junta, and they believe that he's might probably been dead. So tomorrow we'll know from the court whether this guy is still in the custody and so forth. But that's a dangerous move. If that's what we're seeing is true, the dangerous move by the government to do that. You can't take a citizen that's running away, that's being accused of trying to overthrow a government, especially you have no evidence that this guy is doing it, and turn over to the government that requested him. And I think the best you have done was to call ECOWAS and say, this is what's happening, you are intervening, put this guy in your custody so that Liberia can take clear from it. But they're saying that this guy was training people in Liberia, in our borders, to go and destabilize Guinea. We just hope it's not true. But whatever the case, Liberian government needs to speak on this issue. They cannot keep silent. They're going to wait till the year, boom, 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 before they started to talk. And when you hear about border crossing, I think you get nervous because we all know what we're experiencing in our country. And if you have a border crossing, just not the right thing to do. So we're hoping and praying that people will understand and will get the thing that is to act together. But all I can say, Liberia is not treading in the right direction. We are calling the government of Liberia to step up, take charge of what's happening. People will keep on talking about the noise. Will lead to something different. We are students of history. We know what happened in the past. And that's why we are making the alarm that anything can happen that can lead to, that can exacerbate and become a broader crisis. People are not happy. People are fed up. This government, yesterday, November 17, made it 1 year when the former president conceded to the present president. I remember that day. It was that fateful day. We all were in Liberia when was sitting there when President Weah and all the parties that supported him, all the other coalition parties that endorsed him, they all were present when he spoke to them and said that based on what he has seen, the remaining votes could not surpass the vote lead of then former Vice President Boyka. From all indication, it appeared that President Boyka has been elected president. So he spoke, and right after he spoke to his supporting parties, a decision was made that he conceded the election. Immediately, he placed a call to then former Vice President Boyka. In fact, he asked Eugene Nambo to place the call, but then Eugene could not go through. Then he asked the former Vice President, Madam Taylor, to call because apparently she had a quick close relationship with the former at the time, the former Vice President. And when she called him, he picked up the phone and she told him that President Weah will be calling him in a few minutes. And apparently, all was shocked when President Weah placed the call. I'll never forget, on November 17, 2023, he called that day on his gold cell phone. And President Boyka picked up the phone and President Weah congratulated him and said that you have won the election. From all indication, I want to congratulate you. And then Boyka said, oh, he was shocked. He said, well, I'm happy. Thank you. And I look forward to working with you to unite the country. And the call ended. The former president wrote his speech, he and his advisors, and he delivered his speech in our presence. And that's when he finally conceded the election. And 1 year later, today we in this crisis. And it's very, very sad. It's sad. And we can only call for people to take heed and get the act together, because it's serious. No time to joke, no time to play. And I'm sorry, the guys in Monrovia, this I think LEC gone, so they off air right now. And so I will try to see whether we can do some calls in the meantime as I wait for the other guys to appear. Let me see whether we can do some calls. Let me see. The number to call is let me see. Call this number. Let me see. 1 minute. I want to get a number to call so we can make the show. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I want you guys to take part in the show to call so we can participate, make the show. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so okay, to take part, you can call this number. We can make the show better. 484 521 4925. So to take part in the show, you can call this number. And yeah. So you can call this number. Call 484 521 4925. If you want to participate in the show, let's talk about what's happening in the country, about the news, about people at the border. Our army have been sent to the border to beef up the border, and also about what's happening. The president submitting the budget to the guys at RLJ, and it still says that the budget has not been submitted. As far as we're concerned, President Boyka presents draft budget to legislature amid House leadership crisis. Thousands gather in solidarity ahead of. Speaker Kufa is saying he will not resign. The Speaker reaffirmed decision to stay in office. Liberia and Guinea were inches away from war in build-up to arrest extradition of alleged coup plotter. House leadership crisis deepens as ECOWAS mediation. Yeah. So that's where we are. So I encourage you, you can call the show and let us continue to talk what's happening in the country. In the meantime, let me read some of your comments. Okay, Gabriel Dukoden said President Boyka knows exactly what he's doing. The president is old and don't have future. Again, that's the reason he's wanting to create his own forces in our country. Well, Patience Yama says GMA is the worst president Liberia ever had. Di Maria said group of crazy people in the house. Oh, esse pouco me mencionou. Okay. So yeah, call, let us discuss what's happening in the country concerning the crisis at the house, the issue at the border, everything. And we're also getting information that President Boyka said he suspended the immigration commissioner, the Liberian Immigration Service Commissioner, Steve Zago, for administrative reasons. Our understanding is that Zago signed a contract with CITES in exchange for kickbacks, US $300,000, to buy 3 pickups, SUVs, and Yamaha bikes, but he didn't. Now we're told that CITES was brought by Ernest Kehleboe Gongloe. So there's something there. We got to find out what's happening there. And that's what's happening. And it's sad though. But I got some interesting information for you guys too. Another one I got to say is this. Liberia's an interesting country. Very interesting country. Okay. Do you guys know? See how the people playing with Liberian people? Okay. They recently approved recast budget. $57.9 million was given to the legislature, which is less than almost little over 1% of our population. We stand at 5.6 million people. Now you take $57.9 million, you give it to just 1% of the population. You see how the people playing with the Liberian people? Okay. You got the lawmakers. Each of them, you put all the benefits together, they earn about $120K a year. Okay. Then just before the crisis started, they gave the budget from last year gave $45,000 to 103 lawmakers for vehicles for them. They do it every 3 years. So in the legislature for 2 years, and for 6 years, as a member of the House, you get $90,000 for vehicle every 3 years. Good news, the guys are back on. Our guys in Moreover are back on. We're back on the radio. Just got information. They're back on. LEC is back on. So we are back on now. I will see them anytime. But let's continue. Good news. Okay. Now, can you imagine now? So if you're in a house for 6 years, you get 90,000 US dollars. You get it every 3 years. 45,000 every 3 years. If you in the Senate for 9 years, you will get how much? You have to do the math now. 90 plus another 45, how much? Okay, 120 there plus 15. Yes, you get about 135,000 for being a Senate, just for car. And see what been happening in the country. When after the war, okay, the budget for lawmakers at that time, 2006, 2007, was $9.4 million. 2007, 2008, it went to $15 million. 2008, 2009, it went to $17.9 million. 2009, 2010, went to $19.1 million. 2010, 2011, 22 million, 22.8. 2011, 2012, 29.7. 2012, 2013, 35.1. 2013, 2014, 38.7. 14 to 15, 41.9 million. 15 to 16, 54 million. 2016 to 2017, 44.1 million. 2018 to 2019, 42.4 million. 2019 to 2020, 38.8. 2021 to 2020, 2022, 2022 to 2021, we went 39.6. 22, 65.6. Last year budget, 67.9. And this year it drops more, 57.9. I thought about full say, yeah, we'll change. Of la. Chinwe. But that's the situation. Guys, you guys come back on. You guys in the station. Okay, Ansu, I'll see you guys back. That's what happened. Can you imagine? You guys have played with the Liberian people's mind for so long. Every year the money goes up, and that's why everybody want to be lawmakers. Everybody. But again, it comes back to us, citizens, the voters. We go and vote for the same people again. I mean, you see what the people doing to the country. They give themselves all that money. And the guys that you see that pushing this removal of speaker, look at them. They have held key positions in the legislature for the past 20 years. Since 2006 to now. How many years now? 2024. Yeah. 18 years. You guys have become millionaires overnight. It's a sad, and I pray that Liberians will get it soon, because it's hurtful. It's hurtful that our country has been treated this way. It's been treated this way. And people, that's where we are as a country. It's sad, very sad for our country, though. What we're going through. But that's where we are, and until we can do something about it, that will continue to happen. Well, Sir Richard Clinton, everybody put working, come from work and can't join us. It's not easy. To do this thing is free. Or people doing it for free, taking the time to do it. Some people got the other business, the kids and the family got to do a lot of stuff too. That's why it's not easy thing. But the guys are coming. People leaving work, and the time has changed. People that's leaving their work. Today I work from home. That's why you see me out. I'm home already. But the guys are coming, and let's keep on talking. Let's keep on talking about what's going on in the country. It's a tough thing that's happening in our country. Serious problem, and we cannot continue to play this for joke. If you guys are aware what happened before in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Yes, that's where we are, and as I say again, you can join the conversation. You can take part in the show to join the show. There's the number you can call, and let's participate and make it better. And we pray for our country because we're in a situation where people are not happy and we're afraid. We're afraid that things may get out of hand. Liberians got to be mindful. Very mindful what's happening in the country. So Liberians, I want you guys to call and let us discuss what happened in our country. What's your take on it? How do you feel? How do you feel what's happening in the country? It's important. Hold on a second. Let me.
Yeah. So good to be back. Can you please check the audio? Yeah, I'm not getting the money. All right. So good to be back on the show tonight. And yes, we just went off abruptly. So we sincerely apologize for that break. And as I said, thanks to our technician, thanks to the guys in for having us on back here on the program tonight. Uh, but don't forget the show is also live on the Closing Argument page, Facebook. So you can just in case if there's an emergency, we're having to go off the radio, you can just follow us live on the Closing Argument official Facebook page, and also on Via TV is also on our Facebook uh, page. You can follow Via TV. You can also follow the show to live, just in case if there's a emergency, it will go off the radio. So good to be on. We left somebody on, and we're back. And that Peabody have just joined us too on the show tonight. That welcome, Mo.
Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Thank you, thank you for the work you guys do. Thank you so much. When we were, coming on early to keep the show going. We thank you, you and Henry. Been doing a wonderful job, and that is really good for you guys to keep the show going. But yes, it's good to be on. There's a lot of things happening in Liberia. A lot happening in Liberia. Liberia is in a crisis. The government of Liberia, President Guar has continued to prove that he lacked the leadership capability to run the country. You see him here violating the law back and forth. This is a government who ran on the mantra that they will uphold the law, they will keep the law, they do everything. But we've seen that it's a lot happening. He's been behind the majority group that is breaking away. They are now submitting budget to a group that's not pretty much not even do not have the quorum to do that, and to see a president of that country to go do that, and it shows that he lacked the leadership capability. And I said it, not to make him look bad. I said he might have a good heart, but he can't lead the country, and that's what we've seen going on. That we're looking at all these constitutional breach in the country. You have one of the hiring body, ECOWAS, that sent people here to talk to you, to help you resolve that issue. These were the people who stood up and were butchering each other, blooding each other. They sent a group to Liberia, and he did not. He failed to meet with them. The majority bloc disrespected them, and that's what we see. What's going on in Liberia? And I want to say this. I want to be very clear, guys, that I won't be surprised they're going to pass budget behind the speaker. The president is supporting it. Today, all along, the budget has been submitted to the speaker all along. Today, we saw them taking it to LRJ. You know where they are, where they're being paid to stay there and violate the Constitution. I think it's very, very sad. Unfortunately, this will be a tough fight. But when you have the president who should be in control, not on the side, taking the side, he's taking control, and that's what we see. You got this going on in Guinea. You got troops at the Liberia-Guinea border, but he rather going to Sierra Leone to walk about. Because I see that as pure pleasure. And what does that bring to the country? What does that even bring for we know Sierra Leone is our neighbor. But what will you leave your country in crisis? It's the same thing we're telling President Weah. He told President Weah that President Weah going to watch his son to play football for 48 days. The same thing, he was staying there making statements. But look at what's going on in the country. It's just that Liberia is a good country. Liberians are great. Liberians don't want any, but you can't try that in another country. Where you leave the country, you got a lot going on. You got a constitutional crisis going on. You got a border police at the soldier at the border, some other stuff going on there. You're leaving the country to go walk about, because I went on a pure walk about, going by road and all those things. That's just he going walk about. What come out of that trip? But it's sad. And what happened today? It's really, really sad. The budget. He said he was consulting. Akula Fofana said it a few days ago that the president was consulting, trying to get legal counsel onto submitting the budget. So you want to tell me that the legal counsel he got there, who are advising as a legal counsel to submit a budget to a group that is not recognized? I don't want to use the Liberian word here tonight. So whoever advised him, is that a legal counsel he was consulting to submit the budget? Is that what you call legal counsel? I think the president is the one that continues to undermine this whole process and is delaying the process. If President Boyka get and talk to this gentleman, the country got to move on. The man cannot even talk to the country. He can't even tell the Liberian people that he's obligated to let them know that this is what happened in the country. We are working to resolve it. Don't you think the Liberian people deserve it to hear from you, to let you to know what's going on in this country? He sit down there, and all they're doing, they're making and eating money. Look at the money he got for his trips to travel and all of that. They're undermining the peace and stability of that country. And I knew he couldn't do it because he did the same thing with CPP, that how he divided them totally. Now he would divide Liberia. He would divide Liberia until we get totally discombobulated. That's how Liberia going to be. We're going to be sort of divided. We're going to be unorganized. There will be trouble and all kind of stuff going on. That's how he's going to divide that country. Very, very sad for him. I knew he couldn't lead that country. I just knew that President Biden couldn't do it. That's why I didn't support him. I knew he couldn't do it. Sylvester, welcome, man. Welcome. Tomalin, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
You know, I knew it. Sylvester, chime in.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. I think you struck it well. And on a serious note, we need to pay some attention in the country. The last time I said it, most of my, even too many, was trying to hit me up. Say, oh, this is, and exactly what I was looking at. I was trying to predict something here, and here we are. Yeah, exactly we are. My prediction is coming through. I was saying where we headed, the president of the government is going to support the renegade side, and I still refer to them as renegade side. And listen, my disposition at the time didn't mean that I was trying to not support the rule of law. No, I've been very, very clear on that. My point is that what I felt was the process about the kind of the embarrassment eventually that's going to come out in terms of the government trying to support this process against the honorable speaker. Now, here is it. For the government, for the president to come out and say he's consulting his legal team, that was tantamount to the president already giving a version to the renegade side that I was trying to remove the legitimate speaker in a way that they cannot. Now, here's what is going on in the country. There are some folks that believe the speaker sounded defiance today. I don't think that is defiance. The speaker acted the way he believed that those guys don't have the number to remove him, so he's trying to cause some embarrassment for this administration. Yes, that's why anyone wants to do. They don't have the number. The speaker only needs 25 persons to be loyal to him. 25. He got 30. He needs 25 individuals, lawmakers, to be loyal to him to continue this process. Now, after tomorrow, Tuesday, if there's no working section under the constitutional authoritative quorum, because Article 33 of our Constitution is very clear, it's emphatic that we need to have quorum to conduct legislative business. If there's no quorum, meaning we're already into some major constitutional crisis. Folks are not paying attention. We are not being realistic to the process of our democracy, and some of us are paying key attention. By giving the budget to the renegade side does not fix the problem. We need to come to some finality in this process. By giving the budget to the renegade group, the rebel group does not mitigate this situation. Now, the fact that there's no quorum to conduct legislative business after tomorrow, you will have vowed that is tantamount to abrogating the Constitution of our country. And we need to begin the process of paying some deep attention here in trying to mitigate this process, or we're going to be heading to some problem. Other than that, folks are going to come out and be lawless. If we have anybody that's going to be lawless in our country, we're going to have room, because our responsible men and women are not paying attention to the process about maintaining our democracy. And it's part of the reason why ECOWAS came. People say, hey, the government didn't want to budge to ECOWAS because they believe, do we know as people how many times or blocked the ECOWAS countries share in that country to ensure that they give up peace and tranquility that we have today? Do we know the billions of dollars the United States of America spend to ensure that the ECOWAS or the ECOMO or the UNMIL, the United States of America spend billions of American taxpayer money to ensure that our democracy is protected? The United States did that. ECOWAS, particularly Nigerians, Ghanaians, Guineans, these men and women die on our soil, showing that we have peace. The last peace process, the Accra Comprehensive Agreement, was just in Accra. In Accra in 2023, 21 years ago. 21 years ago, to ensure that we have peace. And now our democracy is trying to kick off. We've had 3 successive democratic elections, 2 democratic turnover, from President Sirleaf to President Weah, from President Weah to President Boakai. Wonderful democratic credential. But where are we today? We have folks that are very undemocratic, anti-democratic elements that are trying to introduce those kind of counterproductive thinking in our country and believe that that's the right criteria or basis to move the country moving forward. This is dangerous. It got the proclivity of undermining the peace that we enjoy today. And we all contributed to the peace. We really sit and allow a group of neurophytes begin the process of penetrating the system and saying that they're coming to do this or coming to do that. It's unfortunate. If the government will give room to this, you're accepting the chaos. Now, tomorrow we may wake up, the speaker will want to think about the country. Tomorrow we may just wake up and hear Speaker Kofa has resigned. But is it the way to go about it? That's not the way to go about it. Tomorrow someone will begin the process to rebel against the constitutional authority. Should we create room? I didn't think Boakai would be the one to do that. I understand we all spoke against the kind of the junta type of administration and the rest of that. I can recall when you served the Samuel Doe regime, when Doe made all of them major and the rest of that, people detested that. People spoke against military kind of a government and the rest of that. The fact that today we have a constituted authority, we need to allow the constitution to unfold. If you want to support the renegade side, make them to get the numbers. You need 49 present to push your petition. If you put your resolution and say you don't want the speaker with the 49, you vote to get the speaker out. That is too dead. And that is what we need in the country to move the country forward. But to begin the process at this critical junction, to come and say you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and couple with what I want to refer to as eternal neighborly conflict that is oozing all of our very close, a very powerful neighbor, because Guinea is more powerful than us militarily. So I want to think that one of the processes you needed to do is to fix this process as to how folks were involved in planning to survive the Guinean government operating from Liberia. There is a more bilateral or diplomatic way we engage this to ensure that we stop these kind of things from happening in our country. I think quickly, I would believe and call on the speaker. Folks said he had his press conference today. He believed that he got the number to sustain this process, because I'm speaking for the country to function. I'm speaking that we all should move on collectively. But to begin this kind of an issue about seeing the country operating the way we operating, that's not a good sign for us. That is not a good sign for us. I think we will have to now begin the process of being loud, name calling, that those that are trying to damage the country democracy because of money, we need to begin the process of exposing those people. That is dangerous, very dangerous, and it is uncalled for.
Well, we have Attorney Isaac W. Jackson is here, and Junior, and he would love for him to contribute to this discussion. So Jackson is, he's no stranger. He's very outspoken. He doesn't hold back his views. Well, Jackson, wanted to hear from you. What's happening in the country last 72 hours?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have been a little bit quiet for a while. I've not been on any of the talk shows. And I've been receiving few text messages asking me what's going on. The reason why I thought to keep my powder dry is that, look, the respect for the sanctity of our democratic constitution cannot be carried out in a selective manner. As sure we can walk and chew gum. I really believe in the depth of my soul that what is being done to Councillor Kofa is violative of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Notwithstanding, Speaker Kofa, there is not ample evidence to show to the rest of Liberia, and I dare say the global community, that he, Speaker Kofa, ever demonstrated unshakable faith or demonstrated unshakable respect for that democratic constitution that he now goes to rescue him. And I'm making this point because I think as we grapple with the challenges confronting the country, it behooves all of us to show respect to the Constitution. When we see the Constitution being disrespected, we should speak out. We should not wait until it comes to our doorsteps. For me, when you do that, it presents a semblance of hypocrisy. Councillor Kofa, Speaker Kofa, was the presiding officer in the National Legislature when the Constitutional Court of Liberia, the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, declared the president's action uprooting tenure holders to be illegal. I say today, and I say, like I said yesterday, the Councillor Kofa did not pitch in anger. Since assuming office, President Bouaka has routinely polluted the body politics by willfully violating all the laws. I wonder why was Councillor Kofa not concerned about all these violations as Speaker? Someone needed to have erected a checkpoint so it would not have emboldened the president and those who support him to come after him. Some of the people who were tenure holders, their tenure were for 5 years. Councillor Kofa tenure as Speaker should be for what? For 6 years. Councillor Kofa did not speak for those people. I still maintain, and I will argue anywhere, even in my grave, that all the tenure holders, because I went to court with the CDC government, because I believe these things so passionately, that when you violate the term of other people, you're violating the Constitution. The president has the power to put the tenure to stay in power for 6 years. Speaker has it to do 6 years. Other people were given Constitution derivative of Article 89 of the Constitution. Those people, the government, Honor Bouaka removed those people as though they were nothing, as though they just came there and no law supported them for being there. You understand what I'm saying, brother? So it started with the people who were tenure holders. I recount again that even the great United States of America impeached its president, Andrew Johnson, for violating the tenure law of this country in 1869. Our tenure law was urinated upon, metaphorically speaking, by Bouaka. Bouaka did not stop there. He violated Article 34 of the Constitution when he brought in a yellow machine without legislative input or enactment. Still, our Speaker did not pitch in anger. Article 21B of the Constitution was also violated when security men operating under the instruction of those Bouaka appointed zone in on the headquarters of the CDC, violating the sanctity of the headquarters of the opposition political party in the country. There was no anger on the part of the speaker who's supposed to be a CDC. Article 21B of the Liberian Constitution says, with all such warrant, you cannot go to people whom it happened. When Kofa was speaker, those who violated the sanctity of the CDC headquarters were never invited to give reason why they did so and on what instruction were they operating. The speaker was presiding. It was reported in the news that these people have made effort to violate Article 21B of the Liberian Constitution. Again, outside of the standing operating procedure, the government put also military men to intimidate the supporters of what? The CDC, when they got in the street to welcome President Weah back to the country. When the speaker went to take action, he called those people in chamber behind the scene meeting. People who put military men in the street to intimidate the supporter of the party that you come from, to intimidate the supporter of the leader of the party you come from. It showed no anger. So, brother, I'm making all these points not to give justification for the removal, the unconstitutional removal of Brother Kofa, but to say to all of us that it doesn't matter where the fire starts. He has the potential to burn the house. As I speak today, I'm disturbed that all these things happen under the watch of Speaker Kofa. Now, the fire is on his house. I'm saying this, and I will point out President Bouaka. It's painful for people to lose their job. People who had a new job, they lost their jobs. Today, Kofa is fighting desperately with everything he got because his job is on the line. You know, they don't want him to be speaker anymore. His job is on the line. His peers are saying, no, you can't be speaker. Your gavel is tainted. Whether or not that accusation is justified is one thing. But the procedure, the methodology being deployed, the manner in which they're going about it is not supported by the Constitution. We go to Brother Bouaka, who is the president. Mr. President, if group of Liberians wanted to move you from power by means not provided for in the Constitution, will they not be charged for treason? They will definitely be charged for treason. So it shows to all of us that nobody should use any means to remove officials of government from power not provided by in the Constitution. If Bouaka said actually bar and gave currency to this to happen to Kofa, he will be opening the floodgate. Like I said, I started right by saying, Kofa, you are speaker. They brought yellow machine, violated Article 34. He said, before the president carry on negotiations, there will be legislative enactment. Anything beyond or close to $1 million should be what? Subject to public bidding, competitive public bidding. Nothing was done in LA and Yellow Machine King. Even for the first time in Liberia's history, in a long while, I don't want to be the first time, but for the first time in many years, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, exercising judicial courage, said the president was wrong. The president does not enjoy absolute power. The president's power is limited by attorney. He could not have done so. The president shamelessly went and suspended those people for no justifiable reason and yet went about to remove them. Kofa was not angry. Today, they coming to Kofa. I was asked Bouaka the same question, Mr. Bouaka. The way your people are trying to move Kofa, not provided for in the Constitution. Are you not opening yourself up for other people to get angry, to use means not provided for in the Constitution to remove you? And if they were to do so, you will run to the court? Or what are you going to do? If you don't show respect, you know there's a maxim in law that says, if you do not operate within the ambit of the law cannot protect you. You don't expect the law to protect you when you do not demonstrate respect for the law. When you do not demonstrate any decent respect for the law, how do you expect the law to protect you? When you do not stand up and get angry that the law was violated when other training officers were removed, why are you going to that same court to tell you to protect you? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why did he not stand with the court? When the court said the president was violated of the law when he removed all the 10 people, Garrison Yelu, like myself, exercising courage, going to the court and challenging the Black administration, and the court ruling in his favor. In my case, the court did not rule in my favor because Kopo, who was on a baby, the instruction of the president, then I don't know, but who was either intimidated by the power that be, I don't know, but he said that my letter appointing me did not expressly say I will train you, therefore I was not training you. That argument, I think, is sick. It doesn't make any judicial sense anywhere around the world because it's an old and discarded maxim in law. But Justice Kopo used that. I'm happy that Justice Kopo left the bench or anybody celebrating any of the opinion he ever issued. We got to be careful in our country. If you move over illegally as you're doing, when other people get angry and come to move you by means not provided for in the Constitution, what your people will say? What will stop them from not moving you in a manner not provided for in the Constitution? That's the question Bwaka needs to ask. That's the question he needs to answer. That's the question he needs to juggle with. That's what they need to grapple with. United Party people, those who are celebrating the removal of Kofa, by means not provided for in the Constitution. If somebody were to get angry now, God forbid, to try to move President Bwaka by means not provided for in the Constitution, will they have the moral authority to stand against those people? Will they do that? No, they will not do so. You concede the high moral ground when you do what you're doing. This is wrong. It is wrong as wrong can be. You know, brother, so I'm just saying to Brother Bwaka, to all the people who are lawmakers, that Liberia have come a long way. We can't continue to tarnish the image of our country by doing what we are doing. Speaker Kofa has said that I'm available. You want trial? Come in the place there, carry on the trial. You don't want to go there to carry on the trial. What's stopping you from going there? Now, the question that we need to ask Brother Kofa too, what are all of these circumstances? You can come up with any political zinger. What are all of these circumstances? You can come up with a political jujitsu. I don't know. But if Kofa were to come up with a political jujitsu where United Party people celebrate him, I don't think they will be celebrating. You know what political jujitsu is? You know, jujitsu is that Japanese fraternity, right? Where you can turn your disadvantage into your advantage, right? That's political jujitsu. The back is against the wall. If we were to flip over now, if you were to command large number of people who will come in the street and stand and say the government is not fit for purpose, let it go. What would United Party people be saying? If Kofa were to mobilize the country and say the government is not fit for purpose, violating the law, he would have played a political jujitsu. Can he do it? I don't know. I'm not on the ground. But I'm just saying the violation of the law, nobody should take comfort in it. Nobody. Because it will not help you in the long run. It will not help you, especially where Liberia is coming from. If you don't respect the law that brought you to power, the law that brought you to power, if you don't respect it, who should respect it? It is the same constitution that brought you to power. We are considered on about 17,000 vote difference. If you don't respect that, who should respect you? The other thing is, which I can talk about quickly, and I think Justice Janet on other network has talked about this. He has regretfully outlined what he called constitutional violations on the part of Mr. Bwaka since taking power. And I bring Janet as a good witness because Janet admits what happened to him as a result of what happened to him during the CDC administration. He did a public endorsement of Bwaka. And right now, I think he's either regretting that endorsement because he believes that the Bwaka government is not showing any serious and decent respect for human life. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, everybody listening to me, any government that doesn't show serious respect for human life is demonically evil. Any government that doesn't show respect, because it's the first duty of the government to protect life and property. Any government that doesn't show decent respect for human life is demonically evil. That's what we see happening now. Justice Janet was on radio accusing the government of murdering his client, either in prison or turning the client over prematurely. We don't know, but I'm just saying, why are we not talking about this? Everywhere around the world, when people are in prison, in government custody, they enjoy some protection. Today, if a political critic, maybe a vocal critic of the government were to go to prison, will you be sure that that person will stay in prison and survive, or whether they will go there and take the president and murder the president? It's chilling. We can't be resurrecting that notorious ghost of the past, where people will go to government prison and suddenly they will disappear. You know, it's a new. It gotta be a new. We gotta be a new dispensation. That unproductive title that never served the country before, you resurrecting it. How does it help the government image when people who are in government custody don't feel secure? You know, so whether we did it to advance security protection with the junta in Guinea, or good coordination or good cooperation, bilateral coordination with the government in Guinea, the manner in which we went about it, I think it's productive and violative of any civilized norms. People in government detention, in government prison should not disappear from government prison. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. It's demonically evil. Today, some of the former officials of CDC government, today they are still explaining what happened to Tobo Yensua, Bati Yensua. Sorry, I call Tobo. Because it is demonically evil to use public power to hurt other people. Whether they disagree with you, whether they agree with you, or whether you are fighting by them. Today, some of the people who work in CDC, they are still struggling to explain what happened to my friend Ines, Matthew Ines. Any government that doesn't respect human life is demonically evil and is not fit for purpose. I will say my truth on the radio because I know you want truth. Liberia is at once more at a critical place. We got to say our truth. People should not be disappearing in government prison. The government should protect life and property. You cannot sit down and somebody goes in government prison, his lawyer is making representation, and suddenly we can't find the person.
Yes,
How are you demonstrating respect for the rule of law? How? Look, one of the things that I thought people would even be appalled that the government did, even though it was insignificant, even though it was small, but the petulant behavior of President Bwaka to script Judy Andy of an honorary title for doing no wrong. Eshua break our conscience. It was Eshua being a sign of things to come. Then woman just performing honorable title bestowed upon her for her passion. Even if President Bwaka wanted to give Jallah Kekura Kamara some kind of role in culture, he could be an assistant culture minister, he could make in culture day. Do you have to scrape Judy Andy of a title because you believe she did not support you? These little things that we did not condemn. What coming today to hone the speaker? And if they succeed in removing the speaker in a means not provided for in the Constitution illegally, If the speaker was to fight back in means not provided for in the Constitution, where will the country be headed? Or are they underestimating the speaker's capacity to perform political jujitsu? Are they underestimating his capacity to engage in political jujitsu? The same, look, brother, Waka is polluting the body politic. There's no two ways about it. See how he tried to mitigate violence against even the central bank governor. The central bank governor was ejected from the post illegally. Over was still the speaker, though. Brother Chalu, he said, I can tell you, the law that created, established the new act of the central bank, which draws its strength from Article 89 of the Constitution, says, you can't move me without impeachment proceeding and proving conduct of wrong. Why can't they remove the fellow? Because he's from Grand G there. And Why can't say crown people don't get blood? The government should be operated vastly by people from Lofa County. The spirit, the letter of Article 5 of the Liberian. So when I hear people talk about, the Constitution,
we all disagree with the government, but that's not true. Sometimes don't come on the show and take the time and speed up some misinformation. Not all those spent by any government. That's a blatant misinformation, and I want to sit here and allow you speed up the kind of a misinformation about
let me be protected, please.
No, you just been talking one people again, and you try to get some misinformation here. So when it come and allow you give misinformation about Lofian's being,
I don't know who moderating the show. The show doesn't have moderator.
No. It's the moderator. That's how I'm coming in and provide this clarity.
The moderator can do justice.
Professor,
continue, right? You spoke for 25 minutes.
I will try to resist the temptation of making the show.
No, you don't have to try to resist. Come on. I'm just trying to provide clarity. Don't try to resist. I'm just saying something to you.
Yeah, but if the show has a moderator, I think it's not safer, for you to interrupt anybody when they're speaking.
I'm not interrupting.
You just did. I think. But who's moderating the show? I think it's rude to interrupt people while they're speaking. It's just downright rude to do that.
I have a complete statement. You come on.
Let's civil. I mean, you have the opportunity to come and do rebuttal. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying, no matter how painful it is to my friends Sylvester and other people who will be listening, we can't hide from the truth. Article 5 of the Liberian Constitution speaks against the promotion of tribalism in the country. A pro-democracy group in the country, in its report, Central, have accused the government of being more tribalistic than though. I am basically reporting what Central and what I have seen also as evidence. So there can be no debate about this, that Bouaka is promoting political tribalism in violation of Article 5 of the Liberian Constitution. It's clear. But I'm not come here to make people happy. And if my truth doesn't disturb you, then your conscience is dead. I'm glad that my truth can disturb you to be shouting across the floor. Because, brother, it's not just about Bouaka, it's about our country. It's about our country. You know what I mean? So I can go on, brother, to name, and I'm sure the public will agree with me, to name people who are from Lofa, who are dominating the government, and our people. This is a public evidence. It's an evidence that's in the public domain. The man who held in the military is from Lofa. One of the most powerful positions in our governance system is the Minister of Internal Affairs. That man controls the local government. Pewee, where does he come from? He will not answer now because he's scared of truth. He's from Lofa. The man who controls the finances, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning of Liberia. Where is he from too? The name is Augustine Pehe Ngafua. He's from Lofa. The man who controls our revenue, who collects money for us. Where is he from, brothers and sisters? His name is Double Jallah. He's from Lofa. How much more evidence do we need to agree that Bouaka is on a dangerous path of promoting political tribalism? That even the nephew at the central bank, the man who controls the monetary policy, who operates the monetary policy of our country, he's from Lofa too, and Bouaka's nephew, doubly violating Article 5, which speaks against tribalism, sectionalism. You know what I mean, brother?
Okay,
So what is here that you try to, emotionally coming up for? You don't let truth, brother? Let's speak the truth.
All right, brother.
Let's speak the truth. So all that I'm saying, and Peabody, let me lay on this point. That I'm saying here, brother Peabody, and to the listening audience, I have not come to disturb anybody. But what I have said, I know it will disturb other people who got conscience. That the way our country is being run is not what our people voted for. They didn't vote to resurrect the ugly ghosts of the past. They didn't vote for the president to once more pollute the body politics by dividing bribe money to remove the speaker, means not provided for in the Constitution. They did not vote for Lofa people to be holding the vast majority position in the government and basically tribalizing the governance system of the country. That's not what our people voted for. And so I think we need to do something about this. I think we need to be pronounced about this, and we need to call the government on this.
All right. So,
thank you, Dr. Peabody. Don't get moved. I'm one of those that my emotional intelligence is very perfect in terms of how I digest issues. And I critically go through some of those things. Even my current process I go through when I interact with professors, they will always say to me, one of them was saying to me last week, hey, how do you go about this thing, digesting issues so intelligently, then allowing things to go aside? I'm not one person that get moved. But what I hate basically is for people to be over emotional and sentimental when they're expressing things. We all differ with situations. We all disagree professionally with situations. But what we do, we align our thought process to be more or less very intelligible. And that we should have this mutual understanding as to what we want to say sometimes. And don't just come out and give an extraordinarily misleading information to our folks. I never hit the facts. I'm one of those that always believe in speaking the reality. I'm one of those persons that believe in criticizing government, but being realistic about it. For instance, I have never supported what is unfolding in the country currently. I'm one person. I'm a constitutional kind of a guy. I believe that we should respect the rule of law. An attempt to circumvent the law, that is tantamount to abrogating the Constitution. I have said that time to time. But to come and say, for instance, the Giuliani situation, it is the prerogative of the president also to appoint ambassador, cultural ambassador. That is not violative, as you say, violative of the law. Absolutely no. The cultural ambassador, all of those appointed position also, it is the prerogative of the president to do that. But if the president, when there are a lot of things you say I will agree with, but there are a lot of things you also say that are not in the line that I'm going to come to agree. Say I can never get emotional on this kind of a situation. But one of the things I love, I don't even want to spend most of the time here. The Minister of National Defense is the Minister of Defense from Lofa. Is the National Security Chief from Lofa. It's the Minister of Transport from Lofa. We go ahead to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and Chief of Staff to the office of the President from Lofa. No, so I will also.
Sylvester have frozen. He kind of frozen. He kind of frozen.
So we will have to begin the process now of trying to go and get legs of government officials. I'm not saying.
Good. Sylvester,
you running the government. You try to stereotype this kind of a tribal process. You still want to run around here.
Sylvester, are you there?
It's the Minister of Information from Lofa. Absolutely no. So we should not.
But the bag true. Let me say that.
Yeah, we're listening to you, but you keep going in and coming out.
That's right there.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Sylvester.
Yeah, I think I've been having some technical issue. I've been coming good. Can you get me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, you are a little bit breaking in, Sylvester. So I don't know. You're a little bit breaking in.
Hello. Everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Sylvester, you want to come back in? Mr. Jackson.
Yes, okay, so let me, you know, brother, it is laughably ridiculous that my brother will want to obfuscate the truth that all of us know. When I made mention of Julie Andy, did I say that the president removal of Julie Andy was a violation of the Constitution? The word I use, and I think some of these people got to learn, take time to listen, is that the president was being petulant or being small-minded. And the role Julie Andy played was not an ambassadorial role where she was serving in any country. It was an honorary title bestowed upon her for her passion in that sector. What the brother doesn't know is that I work in that sector. That was my entry position in the government. So I know what I'm talking about. I was the assistant minister for culture who replaced Jai Kwe. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm talking about. So Julie Andy was not a salary taking or salary receiving ambassador. It was an honorary title. And our law said, before you can scrape somebody of their honorary title, like those ambassadorial titles that are conferred, there must have been what? Either a felonious crime. The person must have committed some crime that will bring the title into disrepute. Julie Andy title was scraped or her for what felonious crime that you know she committed? For no crime, right? It was only political vendetta, sheer political vendetta. I'm criticizing the president for being petulant, for being vindictive, for being a bearer of deep-seated grudges. This is what I'm doing. So it's outside of the thing he misunderstood about Constitution. Oh, president got prerogative to go. Even the prerogative the president has, he's not supposed to abuse it. The prerogative power of the president to appoint and dismiss should not be abused. But again, I understand her limitation. His strength is not the law. That is a limitation. All right? So, brother, you come to discuss the law when you are not even schooled in the law and don't understand anything from the law. You're living on borrowed knowledge and you're going to be shouting. It's not about shouting. It's not about shouting. You understand what I'm saying? So, brother, let's take our time.
I got. Are you there?
Yeah. Let him.
I'm back, please. And let me sit here for the record.
I think the show might be probably more moderated so that people can enjoy it.
I was on the show. I was on, and I got technically kicked out of the show.
Yeah, so you come back and the moderator won't allow you, then at least I can name my
the moderator going to allow me. The moderator going to allow me. I'm just going to say, the moderator going to allow me.
Actually, let him chime in, and then you come out.
No problem.
Yeah, but I was saying, listen, I was listening to some of the things you said just now. Do I look at someone that will go for borrowed knowledge? Do I know like someone like that? Do you know me? Do you know my intellectual record before of my current record and moving forward? Do I look like any individual that will near the process of going for borrowed knowledge? I'm far from that. I'm an independent individual that do analysis and research. I don't have to be a lawyer to discuss issue of law. I don't. If you came here to pretend you have to get kind of a line of using this kind of a mess type of tactical communication here, they want to gain favor. Absolutely nothing. I'm not one person that would do that. Never. There's nothing in the law that you can exhibit here as a lawyer. That have not practiced law, open it to see, to give any legal brief you've done. You're the lawyer. You should be telling me what happened before. Nothing basically in the law that was said about those honorary positions and what happened. I challenge you to show the portion of the law. You know, we come on the show and want to gain some level of sympathy or some level of respect from the audience, but want to portray in a more erroneous way. And we don't move on during this kind of a life. Don't know where to proceed if we want to do those things. And I was just going on to name to you. I've agreed that this person have misstepped in certain areas, but there are certain information you will come up and for me, I don't believe in the dictating trying to criticize government. I love to strike the delicate balance. And the delicate balance is where I will be rational in my thinking in terms of how I move to criticize any government official or government. I don't do it because I want to get favor or I want to do these things. No, I take time to do my analysis and I'm detailed in and trying to project those processes. And that's how we do things. And that's how every intellectual should behave. If the government does commendable situation, we commend them. If the government did anything that is condemnable, we condemn and proffer some solutions. We have to be solution-oriented in terms of our criticism. We cannot just jump to the sky and use blatant mischaracterization of what is unfolding in the country because we want to give some favor or some capital, if you will, political capital. We don't behave that way. And we, in the intellectual and civilized world, we have to do our measurement in terms of the structural proceedings politically. That's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of a detailed enemy I am. I don't just move to just bluntly criticize because I intend to do that or to gain favor the other way around. I was just going on to name certain processes unfolding in the country. The Attorney General of the Republic, there are critical positions. If Dauphians are in the country, there are more critical positions in the country that are given to non-Dauphians. For instance, the Attorney General, he's not from Lofa. The Mika Boss Information Minister is not from Lofa. The Transport Minister is not from Lofa. The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs is not from Lofa. I can go on and on. The National Security Director, NSA boss is not also from Lofa. Most of those critical positions, if you were to move to ask them. And you saying I don't understand the law? I do understand the law very critically in terms of I may not be a lawyer, but I pay more attention researching the laws of our country. That's one of the reasons why I form myself being part and understanding the constitution of our country, right? And understanding different critical structure of the governance of our society. I don't have to go to law school. It was not my plan to go to law school. I don't regret why I didn't go to law school. No, I don't. Because it's not my choice to be a lawyer. I am diverse in a lot of different areas that I can contribute towards the society. Even I'm contributing where I am today to be the kind of a person I am. And that's the kind of a thing we have to do. It's not about coming to bash people and all of things. No, I don't believe in that. To just bash people in the way and manner people want to do things. I can be critical in my analysis, and I can be more detailed in as to how we intend to move through situations. I'm not here. I come in Peabody. I'm coming. This man spoke for more than 30 minutes. You didn't interrupt him. It's about time that we begin to be very careful in how we want to engage this platform. We have to sit and...
That's his opinion.
No, that's his opinion. I'm expressing my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree. I'm expressing my opinion.
Go ahead.
It is my opinion, but if I'm expressing my opinion, what I do is that I need to balance my opinion versus the facts. We have to balance our opinion versus the facts to not let somebody be more than very much unnecessarily criticizing an institution of group of individuals with no level of understanding as to the facts. We need to balance our opinion with facts, and that's the kind of way we can be judged. And that's the kind of a way we be considered in terms of how we approach situations. And I'm not going to be one of those persons that will come and want to be undiplomatic about a situation and just want to say things we are no. I don't. That's why I'm mindful. And that's why I'm focused on understand the line of my own position in terms of situation. I try to be measured. And if I'm measured, I will try to collectively engage those things that I want to do and balance and move to those lines. And that's the kind of person. I've never thought to be a lawyer. Right? Now, moving on to complete my second master's program I'm on today, and doing very well, and very soon will even be in the line of helping to move other people on. I'm not emotional, I'm not combative, I'm an intellectual, responsible intellectual, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. But to come on and say, I don't understand law, I don't understand because of that, no. I'm a deal kind of a guy, and that's why I'm paying my due. And paying my dues to be systematic in understanding those processes as they unfold. No, and I won't be one of those that will just come and say I've come on the show, and that's one of the things you guys are going to have with me time to time. Because while I don't agree with what most of the situation the United Party government is currently indulging in, I will also agree with some of the good things they are doing in the country. I will also indulge into those things. There are a lot of things that unfolded in the past government, past United Party administration, that people defend it today, they are not defending. That's hypocrisy. A lot of things. All of the things you said today, it was only the same Harry Green that got killed in the more mysterious circumstances. At the time, you guys defended the same process. Situation unfolds. We agreed some situation unfolds sometimes, but what's the government's own methodology in terms of engaging those issues? How responsible is the government in doing those things? Are we calling on the government because we want to criticize the government today because it's not on our side? No. And that's one of the reasons why I just got the appetite for getting government jobs sometimes just went up for me, and I want to be so balanced and operate. And that's why if I come to the United States, I will sit and plan, get into other business and do things and operate, be also our government and access the process of governance back in the country. But that time you'll be more independent in projecting your ideas and most of those processes you want to push out. It is very important that we do these things.
Professor, are you denying that Baka is not appointing a clansman into government? I'm not denying that people. I know you have a key point to that, but I'm not denying that Lofians are not in the government. But Lofians are not running the government. That's what I'm denying. I'm vehemently denying and rejecting the assertion that Lofians are running the government. Lofians are in the government. That's what the people I just took some time up just now. I said to us on this very wonderful platform, we are all good intellectuals, and I think the process of our exchanges should be mutually intelligible, right? We need to understand from that perspective. I've named a lot of government officials. I went to the Minister of National Defense, the Minister of Justice, the National Security Boss, the Minister of Transport, the Minister of Labor, a lot of other Ministers of Post and Telecommunications. I will name more other ministries and agencies for you and other major enterprises in the country. All SOEs who are heading most of the SOEs are not Lofians. That's what I'm saying. The Lofians are not running the government, but Lofians are part of the governance system of our country. That's what I'm saying. Listen, tribalism, I tell you 1 minute quickly. Tribalism is part of the reason why we went through a devastating civil crisis in our country history. The reason why some of us detest tribalism, it is because even politically, I don't know to be a tribal politician. No. I love to be very clear. I don't love to be a tribal politician. I love to be very clear in being patriotic in terms of exposing my political line. By that time, you'll be more objective, you'll be more committed towards the country moving forward. That's part of the reason those that contributed towards our country quickly, people, all the shit that unfolded. That's one of the reasons why we push our individual line, one, but again, we want to balance it to ensure that it's across the society. But to come and say Lofians are running, that's why I took issue of. Lofians are not running the government. That's one of the things I want you to understand that people, Lofians are not running the government. Yes, Lofians are not running the government. You got a president for Lofa, you got all the key financial experts for Lofa. I mean, definitely they run the country. But let me bring Asa.
To run the country, you should have. If you run all the security, Chancellor said something that I believe in when I met him. So Chancellor said something to run all the security. Who run all the security entities in the country? Are they Lofians?
The chief of staff from Lofa, though.
Are they Lofians? The Minister of Defense for where? For Lofa? The Minister of Defense for Lofa?
The chief of staff. But so let's move on. Let's bring it back to the issue here. Let me bring Anthony Jackson in. Robert Jones.
Yeah, I'll be going on some quicker to the issue before I leave. Quickly. I was trying to say something here about the Liberal Senate, what is unfolding about this speaker. No, I'm dropping my dollar. I just came to pick up. I'll be in the car. I can be on the show, right? Yeah. So about the speaker situation, what I'm hearing, I was just speaking to one of the senators just now. The Senate, they're not being inclined to operate with what these guys are doing with the fact that the budget has not been submitted. I thought to make this point very clear. The Senate is saying that they may not. If they guys do anything with the budget and send to the Senate won't budge. And that's a serious concern coming up. I thought to warn the workers. Come again?
I hope they do that. I think I hope
Yes,
they do
and
that. I hope they do
yeah,
that.
that's what we hearing. And I think that I spoke to one of the senators not too long ago, and he's saying they're going to do that. And I thought the Black administration should pay key attention to that. On that, this process is going to undermine his administration deeply. It's a very concerning situation, and I thought we should take key of that. And I thought to make that point moving forward. But I would still be around. I can stay come on the show whatsoever, but I may be in and out whatsoever. I just
No,
thought to make
please
that.
don't leave, man. Go,
All right.
got the
No,
door.
yeah, right.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Come on.
okay, Bala. I will leave. Right, yeah, so yes,
You know,
yes.
you know, it's regrettable that my friend is fast talking but slow thinking. He sounds more like a boastful drunkard when he references himself repeatedly that he's an intellectual. You know,
I would love for her to go far in this process.
Not keep it to the issue. I think Jassy.
If I've crossed the line and then they will retire the show tonight. It's not only if he crossed the line, I will go deep behind it. Because the issue, I agree. If he crossed the line, I would disrupt the show. And I don't think you can. I don't think you are intoxicated enough to cross the line. I don't think so. I don't think you are that intoxicated to cross the line.
Let's see what
I don't think so. And then the morning, and he went on the news, was kind of incendiary and bring down comment to what my person. I will come after him.
All right.
And I'm saying I don't want this rubber show. I don't want to. I was very kind of spoke to the issue. I didn't go and say nonsense. I didn't say nonsense. If Albert Johnson is intoxicated to use this kind of a London comment on their show, I will tell him I can do the same. If you attack the issue, we go to the issue. But don't tell me the kind of water you talk me. No. I won't take it for you.
Please, let's stay in the confines of the issue.
but
Yeah. If you don't want to attack the issue, I will go out and go beyond that. You know what I can do. Don't go there with me.
Go ahead. Okay,
you know, gentlemen, I will do my best to resist the temptation. My friend was boasting here that the professor said he has been exhibiting emotional intelligence. I think the evidence before us speaks contrary. Anybody who basically has a high degree of emotional intelligence will not exude the conduct he's exuding, threatening to do this, threatening to do that. I'm being very calm, you know, because I think I have more fact support out there. Every time you listen to somebody who has little knowledge about a subject matter, the first thing they will say is to reduce the subject matter itself by saying, I don't have to be this person to talk about this. And in every professional environment, expertise are needed. So you can't come and say, oh, I am not a journalist. However, I will express expert opinion about journalism. No, I'm not a lawyer, but I will speak authoritative about legal matters. It's just foolhardy to conduct yourself in that manner. And I know no professional person will do that. It's comical to do it. You can't do it. You know, and so all that I'm trying to get across to the listening audience, to our friend who is exuding all of these emotions, even though he has claimed to have had emotional intelligence, is that, look, brother, you can team yourself. This is about providing education to our people. I've not said anything. Something has just been very clear. If I come on this show, repeat and just referencing myself all day, I'm an intellectual. We intellectual. Why do you think people will reference me? I don't have to call myself intellectual, but somebody don't know I'm an intellectual, or somebody to believe the logic I'm preaching. My logic will stand for me. So, Peabody, as I have been saying, Mr. Bwaka, since taking power, has routinely polluted the body politics by first violating the democratic constitution of the country. Don't take that from me. Take that from the express opinion of the Supreme Court of Liberia when he removed Kenny Holder illegally. That's not me speaking. That's the court. You pollute the body politic when you don't respect the organic law of the land. The next thing we're dealing with now is the issue of the illegal removal of the speaker amidst allegation that bribe money was paid. You have to be politically dead as a doornail not to recognize the source or sources of money that have kept for the 3 men in the hotel. Who in the country got that kind of money to keep for the 7 men, for the 3 people? I think the 49, I said the 43, the 47, whatever they call the number. To keep, let me be economical with the number, right? To keep 40 men in the hotel for this long. You got to be politically dead not to trace this to the executive that resurrecting that ugly, polluted ghost of the past. So when our friend come here and try to, do what he's doing, it's pitiful. It's pitiful. The Center for Democracy in Liberia, CENTAL, it's not an institution established by Isaac Jackson. It's not an anti-government institution. CENTAL was existing when I was deputy minister in government. A pro-democracy accountability institution. Put Boakar on the record, pass a damning indictment against the Boakar administration and say that government is tribalistic. And because somebody want to talk fast, you think you will counter that fact that is a living reality? You go, oh, the defense minister, every intelligent person will say the defense minister is just administrative. The man who controls our military is the chief of staff, brother. You and I will deceive you now. Or are we dealing with lack of knowledge here? Is it chronic display of lack of knowledge? Or somebody is trying to deceive? The truth, I don't think it's happening here. Either you don't have the knowledge, or you're trying to deliberately deceive. The commander, the chief of staff controls the military. The minister of defense is administrative. This is the administrative structure. I can now open a classroom to lecture on the administrative structure of the agency of our government. You can have the minister of information, who will be the minister of information, the man who runs, the guy who really runs Mika. It's the deputy minister of administration. He's the retail guy. Somebody will say, people who have little knowledge will say the deputy minister of administration. No, Mika is about communication. Every time you want to see the principal deputy or the organic structure or the working of the ministry agency, go to what the ministry was established for. Mika was established to communicate, not to do administrative work. So when you go to Mika, you get what the deputy minister for public affairs. Even the education ministry, the real principal, other than the administrative thing, will be the one, the deputy for instruction. It's there to teach people. But you can't have military better. The military is the chief of staff. Because any civilian man can be minister of defense. This brother here is marketing ignorance to our people. We got to keep it in check. When the government practices tribalism, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help anyone. We saw the disastrous consequences of a tribal government in Liberia. Ono Samuel Kanya Do. That government did not end well. Is Boakar is walking in a path? Would you tell him? You can't watch this. I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but that he went there and want to waste my time. I was saying this in passing. Everybody who has something serious to do with money come from Lofa. Comrades, what they call it, just before they brought the lady from Kehleboe, the comrades guy from Lofa. Correct? The revenue collector from Lofa, Jallah. The man who control local government, that's small thing. The whole local government structure is a Lofa guy. The finance minister from Lofa, the central bank. Imagine the manner in which the central bank guy was uprooted. The guy from Grand Gide. Boakar told the guy from Grand Gide in his face that he was a crown guy. He has no blood. All right? The crown man was up blood. So he could not even put the man through the system to legally remove this man. Today we talk about the illegal removal of Kofa. When we talk about the illegal removal of Kofa, you know what we're talking about the illegal removal of all the other people?
Bouaka illegally removed the central bank governor and replaced him with his nephew. Not only that the guy came from Lofa, that has doubly wrong that is. It's doubly wrong. It's doubly illegal. This man here is doubly illegal. This man is not appalled by it. He's trying to provide a slippery justification. All that I've been saying on the radio since I came here tonight is that Bouaka is not carrying the country in the right direction. He has not shown decent respect for the sanctity of human life. The government murdered somebody in its custody. It's not good to do. It's not good to do. No government should murder people when they're in their prison. It's a government responsibility to protect life and property, whether in prison or not. That's what I've said. It's wrong. Bouaka should not do that. All right? If the way you are moving COFA, as illegal as it is, do you want us to get angry and remove the president illegally too? That's why I asked the rhetorical question. If COFA were to perform, engage in political jiu-jitsu, to flip this thing here, put people in the street, and say, I'm not going to move. If the president wants to move me because I now know or have reason to believe that the president is behind my removal, I will not move. Or the spirit, what happens? And I bring you back to Margaret Thatcher, that respected, venerated Prime Minister of Great Britain. So the first duty of every government is to uphold the law. Bouaka has not demonstrated anywhere that he has respected our law since he took power. He violated the Tenure Law. He didn't violate the Constitution. That man want to die on the breach of Article 5. But what's about Article 18? That says the government should not engage in employment discrimination. Do you know how many seditious that this government has dismissed only for being seditious? Is he appalled by that too? Article 18 of our Constitution says you should not engage in employment discrimination. The government openly said these people were seditious people, they were wearing CDC t-shirts, so we dismissed them. Is he not concerned about that too? Doesn't he see that the Bouaka he's trying to protect and defend here is beating war drum in our country? Because when you violate the law, which law is supposed to protect you? You, Bouaka, yourself. Which law? I didn't come here to monopolize the show. You know, but we are all passionate about these things. We are concerned about the forward advance of our country. So when we come here, it should not be about shouting matches. It should be about coherent facts. And I should not come here and be praising myself, say, oh, you know, I'm intellectual or I did. No, that's not my place. The audience will determine whether I'm intellectual or I'm a flag J. But what I say, everything I have said here, brother, I supported them with evidence. Everything I said. When I quote for you the Constitution, I said it. When I talk about the government sending people to the CDC headquarters, I cited the constitutional provision that you need a warrant to go to somebody's home. So I have not said anything not supported by facts or by evidence. Everything I've said is supported by evidence. See, brother, if you love Liberia, you will elevate Liberia above the president. Right. Especially when the president is not doing well. Mr. Bouaka, with his 40 plus years experience, he is underperforming, and nobody who is honest will support this president. If you see anybody support this president, two things will be happening. Either that person has suspended their critical faculty, or that person is just downright dishonest. The two groups of people who support Bouaka. But everybody who loves Liberia and honest about things in the country will tell you that Mr. Bouaka is underperforming and that what they're doing to Brother Kofa is wrong, is unlawful, and cannot be justified on any grounds.
All right. Let's bring in Robert. Robert, welcome. Good to see you. Robert, you've been following the discussion. You've been following the happenings in Liberia. The president, the Senate budget, the bypassing the speaker, and a lot of stuff going on with a lot of constitutional crisis looming in Liberia. The president left the country and gone for 5 days. Did not even address the country let the Liberian people know what's going on. Robert, come in, chime in.
Doc, it's great to be back on. I hope we all had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. I was briefly in Philadelphia yesterday for like about an
I
hour.
heard, man. I heard.
I didn't want to reach out to you because it was an in and out kind of situation. But great to see my dear brother Sylvester, Isaac, Attorney Jackson, and Tomalin George, and it's good to be. Look, I love the firing exchanges. Right, let's keep it, on the issues and thousands of folks are listening to us. But I have to concur with Isaac Jackson. I'm not a lawyer, so I won't pretend to be a lawyer. But one does not have to be a lawyer to understand and see the glaring disrespect of the rule of law, led by a president who sold his experience, his over 40 years of experience. What discourages me the most in all of this is the fact that Liberians believed that anything but George Weah was the answer, including those of our friends who claim to be intellectuals. And like I said last week, I don't want to hear the argument that anything is better than Joseph Boakai come 2029. I think that narrative of a political discussion is one that diminishes, what we should actually be discussing about, right? But it's glaring that Joseph Boakai was never prepared for leadership. We said this from the beginning. Joseph Boakai was never prepared for this. Think about this. There were sons in every area leading back to his days as agriculture minister. There were sons in areas leading back to his 12 years as vice president under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You could look at his character, his integrity, his decision-making process. And it has been very clear that Joseph Boakai has always lacked the ability to make decisive decisions. He's always lacked that ability. On all issues, it was under the watch of Joseph Boakai that the CPP broke down. Joseph Boakai did not have to become president to see that the elder in the room, to see that the most experienced in the room lacked the ability to bring his younger brothers on the table to have serious discussions about how do we move the CPP forward. It was under the watch of Joseph Boakai as chairman of the CPP when he waved the red flag. It was under the umbrella of Joseph Boakai when he ran away from the true essence of democratic practices, when Alice Cummings demanded that they go to a primary. What are you afraid of? And so Joseph Boakai has proved over and over and again that he's not a good leader. A good leader is seen in moments of challenges that requires serious decision making. And in this moment, when we are still talking about the passage of the budget, when the House of Representatives have brought the entire nation to a public disgrace, when the executive branch of government have failed to indirectly or directly get involved in bringing a resolution that is led by respecting the rule of law, he gets up and takes the foreign trip. Who does that? Think about it. Put that in perspective. When your house, at the end of the day, you can say, well, there's three branches of government and the executive cannot interfere in one or the other. But listen, Joseph Boakai, outside of being president of Liberia, is the political leader and the standard bearer of Unity Party. There are lawmakers under the umbrella of Unity Party in the House of Representatives. You mean to tell me that Joseph Boakai cannot convince those lawmakers within his party to respect the rule of law, to put the interest of the people first, to go back to the joint chambers and give due process to the speaker? The vice president. The vice president is a former lawmaker. You mean to tell me this president cannot use his vice president to intervene and speak to people and bring these guys together? The president gets up and goes on a 5 days trip that is completely insignificant to the growth and development of our country. What does this trip bring to our country, Doc? And so this is who Joseph Boakai truly is. This is who he truly is. He is not a leader. When he talked about him being a pot caller, why Joseph Boakai did not resign after the first Ellen Johnson term if he wasn't in it for himself? Why he didn't resign? You know why he did not resign? Because staying as vice president benefited Joseph Boakai more so than resigning and putting his integrity and his character above all else. So I don't know what else or how else to put this. Listen, it's a fact that when tribal men and women feel obligated to, or they have this sense of cultural obligation, they do things that is considered corrupt to fulfill these obligations. And this obligation breeds favoritism and nepotism. It's a fact. And so when you looked at Joseph Boakai's appointments, the fact that you have all of these guys coming from Lofa County, it speaks volume. The fact that you're dismissing people and you are appointing relatives in those positions, it speaks volumes. The fact that you are disrespecting procurement laws to make this public spectacle of a yellow machine, it speaks volume. Everything that Joseph Boakai has done is indicative to what we expected of Joseph Boakai. So I don't know what the disagreement is, but at least we all can agree that this is a president who Joseph Boakai has not led. Tell me one thing that Joseph Boakai has led on since becoming president of Liberia. Do we know what Joseph Boakai's foreign policy looks like and how his foreign policy distinguishes his government from that of George Weah? We've been hearing different reports about look, at the end of the day, this government in 1 year, look at the economy. Has the economy grown? What has changed? What has changed? And so I'm glad this is happening, Dr. Peabody. So the Liberians understand that elections have consequences. And sooner rather than later, in this very country, we will begin to understand how powerful our voices and our votes are. Because elections have consequences. So let Liberians enjoy the consequence of the decision to elect the most experienced men in the history of our country. These are guys, and I'll close on this note. These are guys who claim to be the most sophisticated of all Liberians. These are guys who claim to be the smartest of all Liberians. And these are guys, even with all of the above in consideration, have done worse than the party that they said came to power unprepared.
Well, you know, one thing before I go to Sylvester, one thing, Robert, since the president came to power, he had been 11 months. He have not had a press conference to tell the Liberian people what's going on. He have not had the guts to say, let me tell the Liberian people what's going on at the house. Let me talk to them and tell them what's going on. He have not done it. All right. And you talking about somebody who claimed to have had 40 or more year experience in working in government. Is this what the Liberian people deserve? Is this what Liberian people? Sylvester coming, and then we'll go to Tomalin and then Anthony Jackson.
Yes, thank you. Listen, so I have been very clear time passed. And I'm not one person that do pretend. So during the past political history of our country, the immediate past political elections, I was very clear I took a side. And before that time, before the 2023 elections, I can recall 2017 election, maybe it was 2016, from the very US here. I then stayed here in school in Arizona, and I took a side clearly that I thought that, and there was a post, I think I can very recall this process. I said he would inspire, a good leader who inspired and would be very firm on decision-making process. Now, it does not negate the reality in looking at certain issues unfolding in certain sector of the government to come and speak to those issues. I have said the president proceeded in a lot of term in terms of the executing his responsibility as president of our country in area. And I have said those things, and I remain on that path. But what I would not do is that to not sometimes sit and see some issues unfolding in the country and just want to move and dismiss it without having a second thought as to my own position. Now, the issue unfolding in terms of the speaker's side is wrong. The issue unfolding in terms of other major decision-making process of this administration also, I have said that time to time, we amplify our tone here. But what we would say is that, and this has been my problem in the country. And that's the reason why it's important that we begin to take some firm step moving forward to define yourself in terms of the role you stand for today and tomorrow. And that we're going to vindicate some of us. We've been very clear. I've never been one of those kind of a vacillating type of politician that will come to the criticize this government because I don't criticize government because I want to get a job from the government. That's not my intent. It's never been my intent. And that's part of the reason why sometimes it is frustrating. And it's part of the reason the Liberian people, with time to time, we need to push the line moving forward to set the basis, to educate our people as to what kind of a leader to go for. Now, Robert spoke, who spoke of Dr. Peabody spoke of the press conference situation. With time to time, we moved through the system and said we needed a president that would be more or less very proactive and that would be alert to execute the responsibility of the presidency. Now, there are other exhaustion factor pulling the country down. We need someone that will balance this process. There's a need for a delicate balance.
Oh, why you got up?
Someone, I don't know. I didn't remove myself anyway.
Yeah, I just saw you went off.
Yes.
Yeah.
This delicate balancing act to enforce the process about what is unfolding in the country. And that's one part of the reason. Sometimes you see certain things unfolding in the country. We have people now, if the minister of state will write, or certain government officials writing to recognize a bunch of individuals that are trying to undermine the legitimacy of our Constitution, and the president was to support that, that is also undermining the very Constitution that you ought to protect. And I've said this, but wherein we've already projected this kind of a line, we saw that, hey, this is not the time to move and do this and do that. This will only encourage us to be very loud into the politics, but be balanced in terms of how we want to be loud in the politics. Now, Ambassador Buakan administration, they use the party and what they engage with in terms of that. It's not, and I've been loud here on this show. We all been together here. But we can, it's not because past government did the same, you should come and do it. And that's one of the things. The president ran on a record that he's the most experienced government president, serving over 4 decades in having government experience. It's how you want to push the process about defending and protecting the Constitution. One of the major problems we face with today, and that's part of the internal situation that we face with now with our Guinean counterpart, the Guinean government, in terms of some of the things that are unfolding. Part of the reason why we went to a very terrible pass is because we didn't adhere to the rule of law. If we adhere to the rule of law, we need to practice and protect the tenets of democracy. It's a very important aspect. It's very important. So I will basically call, I don't know the intent of, but again, I wouldn't frown on the president visiting in our neighboring country. Right? I wouldn't frown on that. One thing we need to take very key in this place is that building internal rapprochement with our immediate neighbor is very important to national security. It's very important to national security. And most of us was pretending this way that we don't understand that. And again, people just want to say things, don't understand those things. The civil process came to Liberia because we honor man, we didn't respect the very good internal relationship with our neighbor. Today, the war came to Africa Coast, and most of the rebels got trained in Sierra Leone. I mean, it would take one to understand clearly. I didn't know the amount of days for the president to visit to Sierra Leone to meet with his counterpart in Sierra Leone to discuss important things that have subsisted between the two countries for over the period of years is important. It is important. I would really encourage the president to move forward to Guinea. It's important that our internal security mechanism be intact. The amount of days, 5 days, I don't know what the reason he's taking 5 days. I don't know part of the bilateral thing they're going to do. The communique are going to be signed. We need to wait for the communique to be signed, see the detail of the president's visitation. But from the perspective of bilateral issues and subsisting, the region has subsisted to maintain the pact of security is very important. The MRU basin is a very important basin. It's a process that we did in the past that we organize it to have the Secretary General resident in Freetown. It is important that the president will have to focus on that. But there are other issues when the president slip on. I want to come and say, do I condemn the president making state visits? Rather, no. If you are the president of the country, you would do the same. You would do the same. Now, we may have some problem on the amount of days the president is spending in Freetown in terms of the state visit. But it's important that the president fly over to see our neighboring countries to build. Now, you heard what the front page Africa is reported. The front page, go ahead, Raul.
No, I just want to 30 seconds. Look, I don't think my contention is whether or not meeting with a counterpart is an issue. The issue is the timing and the moment. Okay. It's meeting with the counterpart in Sierra Leone for 5 days more important than a possible constitutional crisis that is unfolding in the country right now. And that has the propensity to impact the entire nation, because we're talking about the passage of a budget that has to involve the speaker. And so again, the decision making process, right, is the issue. The president can say, you know what, if I was president, I would not be taking a trip right now. I'll call my counterpart and say, listen, I have a situation at hand in my country that is unfolding, and I need to address that. I think this is more important. The president can always push back his trip. So I don't have an issue with meeting foreign partners or counterparts, right, to strengthen foreign relationships. But again, you can't put these relationships ahead of what is unfolding in your country right now that is of more importance. That's my issue. Does he have to make the trip right now? He does not.
So, Raul, let me say this. On the show the last time, I think you on the show, you were one of those that disagreed with my position at the time. When I said here, all the things that's unfolding, and then you guys say I'm not trying to support the rule of law, and I said no. I was predicting something. And I said clearly that the situation unfolding in our country about the removal of the embattled speaker, it is heavily backed by the ruling establishment. To see the president, it happened in past government. Madam Sirleaf and other people, it happened in past government. If they downplay this kind of a situation, meaning they support the action of the renegade lawmakers. If they see the president leave the country under these kind of circumstances, they are supporting the removal of the speaker. We passed that. I said that, Robert, and I said I wouldn't be surprised. There's nothing new that's going to unfold in this thing to make this happen, right? My point here is basically for the person to travel. There's no issue with traveling. Now, you will counter that argument by saying it's that important constitutional matter unfolding in the country. The president needed to stay and handle those pressing processes. I want to agree with your point, but the president is supporting the same thing that's about to undermine the very Constitution. I said that. It's not a new thing we're trying to say here. I'm not trying to bring up. Now, there's nothing bizarre about what is unfolding. Absolutely. Robert. So the president support this process. That's why evident by today's submission of the national budget to these renegade guys, as I want to call them. But the point here is we need to take, you see what is currently unfolding in Guinea. Front Page Africa is reporting today that I don't know how true is that there was a near issue about of a war between. I want to be that is a little bit section on hairline. I wouldn't watch that. But that's the reality of the day. So again, politically, a lot of will perform, a lot of situations that will fall in the country and want to directly intervene in those situations, pretend to not know what is unfolding in the country. His former boss, Madam Sirleaf, or one of those that undermine them deeply also. It is a removing other elected constituted authority. Those things unfolded.
So we keep doing the same thing over and getting the same result.
It's not a new thing. But again, we that sit and behave as pundit or trying to analyze these things that are unfolding, we're going to be realistic.
All right,
Something we didn't want to hear it, but we'll have to say them.
all right. Let's bring Tomalin in and then we'll go back to.
Look, Tomalin coming. I thought Tomalin will come here.
Yeah, quickly, let me say so. First of all, tomorrow I just spoke to Justice Jallah. He'll be our guest tomorrow. Justice Cabinet Jallah. He'll be our guest tomorrow. Yeah, he will touch on address all the issues that are happening. And tomorrow, the government of Liberia State will present Sirleaf in court, his living body. But Justice Jallah believes that he's been taken to Guinea and he might not be alive. So tomorrow we address all of these issues. Let me also announce that tomorrow on Wednesday we have our second new female panelist joining us. It's a secret. She's a very smart lady, eloquent. She'll be joining us on Wednesday for the first time, making her debut. She's a regular follower of this show, but she'll be coming on board to increase our female participation on the show. And so we'll look forward to welcome her on Wednesday when she joins us. We'll keep her name secret until she appears on Wednesday. And let me also recognize the guys in the studio just for a few seconds. Right now it's late in Liberia, but these guys, they're always there, the technician. You guys, let me see you guys small. Let me see you guys a little bit. Let me see you guys. The technician. Guys, this is security, everybody in the studio right now. Guys, where are you guys? 1, 2, 5, I'll go 3, 4, 5. Where you guys?
They're coming.
Okay. I want to say hi to you guys. Thanks for keeping the show alive. Thanks for staying all late to be with us. And I can show you guys that we'll soon start doing something for the Christmas season. We'll do some fundraisers to keep you guys, because I heard that the time is rough. Liberia East, everybody complaining. So we'll see what we can do before the Christmas season. I'll recognize you guys.
I'll get a good package for you guys.
With that in mind, look, first thing, tomorrow, the Finance Minister is having a press conference at the Information Ministry. I love what Isaac Jackson said. I want to see what Gafon will say. Gafon, they're all been people who have been advocating for the tenets of democracy in our country. Also, I am trying to call this guy, Kofi Woods. This guy that is in question that I was taken to Guinea, you are a former human rights advocate. You're national security advisor to the president. You are silent. What's happening? Want to hear from Kofi Woods on this guy, Sirleaf. Justice Jallah will talk a lot tomorrow when he comes on the show. Want to hear all these advocates who are in the past advocating for democracy and for a good governance and so forth, human rights. They are being silent on the issue. And on the trip of President Boyka, honestly, I know he went by rule. You cannot go to Sierra Leone now this time when your country is engulfed with a constitutional crisis. Because don't forget, the three branches cannot operate with all the other. You can, even if the so-called guys that the clerk gave the budget to today, if they go and say they pass a budget, you gotta go to the Senate. And mind you, in the Senate, the vice president is only the presiding officer. It does not go to him. It goes to the pro tem. So Yombly will be on test. I want to see what Yombly will do. I want to see Delon. I want to see Amara Kone. I want to see McGill. I want to see all these guys. What are they going to do? Are they going to concur with what's happening? We're going to know soon. But I'm told that they're about to go to the full bench to finally interpret the Constitution about what's happening in the country. And that's what we're going to see what happens. When they look at the law and say it's a blind eye, it will see soon. But guys, I can see my hand right now. We got a few minutes to go. We've got 20 more minutes. Let's make use of 20 minutes.
Okay. There are a few good things that, you're still going back to the Constitution. The court, One of the things I can say, which I've known for a very long time, is that these political issues are not justiciable subjects. So the court will basically interpret what the law is. If the lawmaker decide to go the way they're going, they will keep going that way they go. It's just a kind of, it's frustrating. Pewee has already spread on the record that the president is behind the removal of the speaker. He said the president supports this. Considering that he intermittently speaks for the president, I want to, on this occasion, you to that point that he's made, you know.
Let me clarify. I didn't say the president. I said, I believe.
But gentlemen,
I'm not a spokesperson. But no, if you give me a blatantly, get blatant misinformation, mischaracterized.
Okay. All right, brother Pewee. Thank you for the clarification, but you can re-listen to yourself when the show over.
No,
but look, to be very on a more serious note.
If you came to just.
No, but I thought you said it.
We will move in that.
If you say you didn't say it, no problem. You can listen to it again.
Listen, I've never been a spokesperson of the president.
Okay, no problem.
You serve as spokesperson.
Let me continue. I'm just saying that in jest, bro.
I'm now being plain to see what you did. Right?
You listen to the program afterward.
I'm not somebody advancing. I'm not doing that.
But you listen to the program afterward. But let me say this. Look,
what is unfolding? So
there are few things that I would like to point to, which I think I better talk about it in past. When Bouakai was running to be president, one of the things I talked about repeatedly was to question his sound leadership judgment. And here again, he's proving all his critics right. He's not being able to exercise sound leadership judgment. When there's conflict going on in the country, especially with the first branch of government, knowing the enormity of the imperial nature of the presidency, people have expected that he would have done something. He had woefully failed to do something about it, which basically confirms everything we've been saying forever, Mr. Bouakai, that he is dangerously unfit to continue to lead the country. The other thing that Mr. Bouakai has done, even though they say they came to rescue the country, they are again dragging the country along a dangerous path. And somebody talk about what really is his foreign policy. On this, my real first issue will be President Bouakai did not have to accord the national podium to an inexperienced academic to insult, to pillory and condemn and denigrate the American government only because he wanted to renew diplomatic relations with Russia. We saw why President Bouakai brought Ratel Nije Pele to spread poison against the government and people of the United States when they gave her the national podium. And she said the rubbish she said against the American people and their government that constrained the American delegation to walk out. Bouakai was trying to basically start a flirtatious relationship with Russia. This is also an interesting move by the Liberian government on Bouakai. Liberian people be concerned because I don't know how many Liberian students or citizens that are currently in Russia. Many Liberians have benefited from the magnanimity and the long established traditional relationship with the U.S. government. Many of us in here went to school. Many of us sent remittances back home that kept our country, not from Russia. I don't know what driving Bouakai in that direction. Liberian people, you got a speaker. It's your country that the old man dragging down with him. You got a speaker. You know, you talk about my friend who is at the Ministry of Finance now. I still call him my friend. I don't know whether he thinks I'm still his friend, but he knows the PFN law. Bouakai has again urinated, defecated, metaphorically speaking, on the PFN law when they engage in off-budget spending. $1.1 million to Bouakai to buy bulletproof Jeep, while the vast majority of the Liberian people he promised to rescue still languish in poverty. The schools' buildings are caving in. Hospitals are without medicine.
Yet, the president is prioritizing himself, spending outside the budget, $1.1 million. I don't know whether they're concerned about it. I don't know whether they are appalled by this, but this is not the way to run the country. The first duty of the government was to let our people improve their welfare. Is that what they're doing? The allocation in the recast budget got to medical facility. The president can carry and go to hospital. But say Liberian people should not go to hospital. Brother, it's concerning even on traditional free speech. I was talking about Matthew Nyenwolo. I may disagree with Matthew Nyenwolo. Matthew Nyenwolo, you can't be in the government or you can't be in the pepper bush and bust the pepper, it may go in your eyes. But even if you would dismiss Matthew Nyenwolo, the issue that he has brought out, is the government concerned about it? Has the government constituted any investigation into this scam of a scholarship? Is there anything that our government should be concerned about more? Should be how to empower our young people, providing them scholarship. They need education. The vast majority of the young people in our country, they want to go to school. The government promised scholarship. We are told that the scholarship scheme is a sham. That is a fraud. Yeah, you dismiss the young man. Yeah, he's assistant minister. He may not have read his term of reference. His term of reference was to communicate for the government, not to critique the government in public. I understand it because I was deputy minister. If I was assistant minister, then I got promoted. So I understand it. But if he will highlight something that is dangerous to the empowerment of the young people in the country, will the government care to investigate it? You can dismiss him. Okay, he talked on a turn. What's about investigating it? Are we asking the difficult question? I don't know, brother. But instead of people coming here and trying to waste our time, oh, Baga doing the other thing good. Or maybe he's doing the other thing right. Better. Any and everybody who wants to be honest will tell you the way Baga running this country is not the way any serious person have anticipated he will run the country. He is not doing well for the people. The young man talk about scholarship being if there's a flaw in the scholarship team, let's constitute a committee to look into it quickly. Because you're talking about thousands of young students who want to go to school, who want to go on scholarship. Even if you say he spoke on a turn, what happened to investigating that? Brother, something not right. And let us not indulge in this soulless sycophancy or trying to double talk. Let's speak truth to power. Something not right. Either he's not in charge or he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. If the president doesn't care, the same reason why we criticize George we are over and again, even though some of us, at the end of the day, we thought it would be better than Bouaka. But the same thing, the almost indulging in. He will not even say a mumbling word when the country is on fire. Well, we are couldn't talk, but Bouaka, who's going to be eloquent now, the new Messiah, he will not explain himself. He will not explain what happened in the country and what solution he intends to provide. Where is this country headed? Brother, there's no two ways about it. Your old man is poorly performing. Since you occasionally will talk for him, please tell him if you got a telephone number or some of the people you close to in the government, please tell them. He's disappointing our people. And that's why I posted yesterday that this cloud of disappointment, if we all with decisive seriousness work together, we should be able to remove this cloud of disappointment that have descended upon our country. Even those who help to inflate the name of a government on our people, you don't just complain now. Don't just complain. And I'm glad that Brother Janet is coming tomorrow, Justice Janet. I respect him. He was one of those who campaigned for Bouaka. He was one of those who spoke for Bouaka. Somebody who argues, say he's complicit in this act because he supported the regime to come to power. Today, his clan is a victim of the poor leadership of Mr. Bouaka. Should he not just, he shouldn't just complain now. Just say, it's my big brother, I respect him. But if you help
to bring Bouaka to power. And today, Bouaka is a net man. You got to help to remove him. You know, means provided for in the Constitution. Don't do it like he's doing to Kofa. But we have to work together and express our disappointment and campaign against the government and remove the government democratically. Because this government is not fit for purpose. People can't be disappearing from government prison. And we're trying to find a way to explain it. Even if the government want to promote a good relationship, good neighborliness, it can't be at the expense of human life. Oh yeah, we got to promote, good neighborliness. So why? We do it at the expense of human life, brother. We got to value human life. And so, colleagues and friends, I was about to go somewhere when you asked me to come. These are the few things I like to bring for the consideration of our people. I don't know, people may be displeased that we speak in truth, but if we do not speak truth, tomorrow they will say we were happy. The Liberian people, if you do not stand up to speak truth, if you keep quiet, tomorrow they will kill you and say you were happy. If you're not happy with this government, the duty is upon you as provided for in the same constitution that you can assemble and petition your government to do right, because all power is inherent in the people. And I will say the judgment of the people is above the judgment of any and everybody. The judgment of the people is above the judgment of even the court. If the people were to stand up today and say enough of this, there'll be enough of it. Don't be quiet. The Constitution gave you the power. If the government is not working to your happiness, if the government is engaged in killing people in prison, as alleged by Justice Janet, you got to stand up, because tomorrow it could be your son. It could be a vocal critic of the government. We saw how it started. We violated the constitutional law, the law of the land regarding tenure. It didn't start with the tenure team. The president got emboldened, and gradually he kept chipping at the laws. He started with a tenure. He went to PPCC law, public procurement law. He gashed it, even though the public procurement also drew its strength from Article 34 of the Constitution. He disregarded it. He went down. Employment discrimination, Article 18, he dealt with it. Today, Article 5 is under threat. Some people try to find a way to explain it. Article 5 says you will not promote tribalism. Tribalism is flourishing across the government. He's doing violence to the law. He's not going to stop until we Liberian people stand up against this. Kofa is being removed in a manner not provided for in the Constitution. You stand up for your country. You, the Liberian people who will go to court tomorrow, you today have a responsibility to demonstrate your unshakable respect for the sanctity of the Constitution. If you don't do it today, tomorrow you can't go to the court and the court will give you judgment. The only time the court will give you judgment, if you stand up for the law. And this is where I come to Kofa, and I will conclude with this. The Kofa has stood up to demonstrate respect for the sanctity of the law and say, I will not sit there for the president to violate the law. I will mobilize the 30 people honor me, because at least he has convinced us that he can keep 30 people around him. These 30 people around me will find some kind of impeachment thing to write. If he had done so, maybe today the conversation would have been different. But again, the boss still in the court, he can still put up a fight, whether he can come up with a political zinger, or he can come up with a political jujitsu, it's up to him. I'm just telling our people, stand up for Liberia, stand up for your democracy, because these things will only get worse if we don't stand up. Thank you very much.
Jackson, tomorrow when Janet appear, you can be here with Janet?
Yeah, I'll try my best to be here. If the boss is not around, I told you I was dropping over when you call me. If the boss is not around, definitely. I want to sit across the table with Dr. Janet. He has been my long-time big brother. Yeah, so I will sit across the table with him. I will do that. I will try my best. Maybe I will have to say something and stay away just to be on the show with Justice Janet. But I thank you guys for the show. I think it's a great show. You know, my man, Robert, my man, you told me you were going to talk outside the curve. You haven't called me, brother. Why are you doing this to me? You're my brother.
I will give you a call. We'll talk.
Pewee, my man. I will talk to Pewee after the show.
No, but I know how to show you. I can just.
And by the way, let me say this.
You love to go hard and put here. You got teeth.
Let me say this.
My man, Pewee, I ain't joking. You very relax. That's more.
Let me say this. Tonight, two of you guys, in fact, a lot of people came on the show, though, texting it, were enjoying you guys.
Bro, Pewee, I'm a junk comrade. You know that, but not anything, no problem.
Before Azil said something also, and then people will hit me for, right? He said something that is also inaccurate. The government of Liberia, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, came out categorically and refuted and debunked the statement about going back to Russia after the deputy minister was there. The foreign minister, who is the dean of the cabinet, and no, we have to be clear here as on these things. The Minister of Foreign Affairs debunked and refuted this situation. So we should not, if the minister will, of course, if the chief messenger of the president in terms of implementing the foreign policy objective of our country, come out and dismiss that, who are we to come and counter those kind of things? So I would think, and I agree. I said in the show the last time that it was shocking to see, but the other people that you saw, Robert, you saw, Johnny and myself went across from that. And I said to Johnny, this was a concerning situation about Liberia trying to establish an active diplomatic relationship. That would be a blow to America. America wouldn't accept that because Russia is directly a threat to American national security. I said that, right? And the minute I said that, the next day the foreign minister.
So I want to ask a question. May I ask one question?
The question here is, you know, for the caliber of folks in government.
Yeah,
I mean, why should the foreign minister be in a position to even debunk such? Why did the deputy minister of foreign affairs even put himself in the entire?
That's the problem, and I agree. That's a smart point. That's my point, right?
And so that's my concern. The question now is, who is the boss? Who's calling the shots?
So yes, the minister trying to correct.
So you mean to tell me the executive mansion was not aware of the foreign minister meeting with Russian counterparts about this?
As it knows this,
the
government, I can't remember one minute. The government of Liberia had diplomatic relationship with Russia for many years. Even Madam Sirleaf government.
The word I use is renew, right? I use renew, right, my man. When I use renew, it's a presupposes that I use renew. So what are you arguing?
Said they did not renew, but we didn't separate it for you renew it. We didn't separate it. We didn't separate it, Ase. So I want
but it's never been.
You're very wrong. We didn't separate it, but we didn't separate it. So we not renewing it. So
okay, let me say that quickly. And let me say this. Look, it's a difficult thing for the government to engage in deception tactics. Many Liberian people listening to us, they are all familiar with the popular aphorism that patriot speaks 1,000 words. The pictorial image with Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, that powerful foreign minister of Russia, that man who could pass for Putin's brain, shaking the hand with Deputy Minister Ibrahim Myean, that overtowering figure, Sergei Lavrov. We saw him. Gentlemen, and we know that Liberia's relationship with Russia has been dormant. If somebody brings us to the fold, if I use the word renew or resurrect, you will quarrel with the semantic, with the diction, brother. Brother, take your time here. Take your time. Look, brother. Listen, comrade. Listen. We are acting in the terrain of opinion. Something is not right. We saw President Bouaka giving the national podium to Ratel Niger Pele to venerate the U.S. government in the presence of Russia and China. And then we saw the deputy minister who napping in public with Sergei Lavrov. And you say we should not be concerned? You say we should not be concerned?
But I'll just stop it.
You know, brother, this is a dangerous game these people are playing. Listen, this is the last thing I will say and go. I don't want it back and forth. This is the last thing I will say and go.
You know, when Raptor Nije Pele spoke the way she spoke or the order to the US, the Liberian government issued something right this only, right?
Yeah, that's what they
Raptor spoke on her own term.
They were disassociating
No,
themselves.
disassociating. But Rabo, every clever and sensible person knows. Every clever and sensible person knows that before taking a national podium of that nature and in that manner, the government should have an inkling on what the person invited to say will say.
But they did.
So if the government had an inkling, and because the government was embarrassed by what the lady said, tried to issue a watered down disclaimer, you're going to pass, you're going to just leave it, you acknowledge it, brother. When they say bring your criticality to issue, this is what we're doing. We're going to be critical. You don't just swallow anything the government say. Because the foreign minister say, oh, we don't get it, we just swallow it. Because the government say, oh, we distance ourselves from Raptor Nije, then we just swallow it. No, if you do that, then you're not being critical. All that I am saying is, gentlemen, let's be critical. If the Liberian government say, brother, I'm not Liberian government spokesperson. If the Liberian government say we're not doing any, we're not renewing or we're not doing anything, we don't have any relationship with Russia, what action have they taken against the deputy minister who put this thing in the public?
No. They won't take any action against the deputy minister. Listen, the deputy minister has extended a function. He wouldn't slump the foreign minister of Russia. We have a relationship with Russia. He wouldn't slump. If there was no relationship with Russia, that would have been an issue for concern. He would have been reprimanded. There is an existing relationship.
But what's the need for clarification then? If we are having a successful relationship and the deputy minister is part of the successful relationship, why do you have to clarify?
One of the clarification was that they're trying to reestablish embassy in Moscow.
You thought
I was slipping? I'm not slipping.
But
reestablish embassy in Moscow, and the government came up and refuted and debunked that. Right?
Debunked that. What was that? Debunked that. What was that?
The basic thing here, actually, is that the foreign minister herself is on record. If it was the foreign minister engaging her counterpart, that would have been a lot of concern for some.
No, my thing is, if we doing business as usual.
The government is not doing that.
No, my thing is, look, let me make this point. Let me make this point.
Trust in this government.
If the government is doing business as usual, then it was needless for the foreign minister to provide any clarification. If you have a certain relationship with the U.S. government, traditional relationship with the U.S. government, and your deputy minister met with maybe Blinken, right? He's going now. Why do you have to clarify anything? I mean, it's a subsisting relationship, right? So why the foreign minister were constrained to clarify things if there's a subsisting relationship ongoing? The fact that she tried to clarify things that's supposed to be obvious to raise more concern.
No, she clarifying this process because the relationship between Russia and the United States, who happen to be our very premium partner, is very strained. So the minister has to come up and clarify this process.
Yeah, but if there's a relationship, if there's I think Pewee, I think the concern here is that this is from just looking from outside in, and with past government. The reason why people are shocked is because let's assume that there's been a relationship. The question here is,
it's still a relationship.
If there's still a relationship,
yeah,
there's not been a relationship with like Liberia and Russia that has been this public, right? So diplomatically, we understand there's a relationship there, right?
Yes.
And Liberia is not the only country with relationship with Russia, but when you have the U.S. government as a close ally, and understanding the Russian government and all of what we've seen happen over the past few years, and even currently, right, with the war in Ukraine and the impact and their involvement. The question here is, the foreign minister would need no clarification with anything shared by the deputy minister of foreign affairs, because the deputy minister would not have gone on that trip, discuss important permanent foreign policy, or use all of these strong words about reinvent and renew, and had the audacity to actually share that information publicly without the minister
approbation
has been aware, all the president being consulted. And so again, when you see the Minister of Foreign Affairs come out and try to debunk and give clarification, isn't that could possibly be due to the backlash that they've seen with what they've shared, right? And so again, you're playing with our intelligence because you can only give clarification to something that you are not aware of. You can only
quick around slip up quickly.
I'm convinced that the president, the foreign minister, buttressed the president's foreign policy approach. Joseph Boakai, the foreign minister, cannot do something. The deputy minister of foreign affairs cannot go to Russia and have these important conversations, use all of these strong diplomatic terms and share them without the president being aware of it. And so the question here is, are you lying to our faces? Because you can't tell us you're clarifying because you had no idea what's happening.
Raul, sometimes some of those things, some government officials do slip sometimes in terms of performing.
Then the government will act. Then the government will act. Then the government will act.
The issue today is I have an opinion on this process. I get an opinion on this process, and I will share what I was saying up. What Madam Sirleaf set an example actually when she was coerced to sever relationship with Libya at the time. She was open. She said that in London. There were a lot of backlash from other African countries, but were clear when Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at the time pushed her, and she did that. I would think I have advised the Liberian government. There are certain countries. You see, Iran. There was a time when I was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Iranian ambassador, destined to Monrovia, had come. He was resident in Accra. He had come to present his credentials to the Minister of Foreign Affairs then, or Milton Bezon-Garfini. It was tense. Remember when he came in. We didn't receive him that day. The things when he went, he was angry. He had to return to Accra because there was this fear at the time with the Iranian ambassador in Monrovia to present credentials. So my advice to the government at the time, even told the minister one time, my advice is that hey, it's about time that will be critical and several relationship with certain countries we know that are not aligned with the United States because America is our premier partner. It is critical we do those things, but we didn't have a relationship with Russia for more than 60 years. Diplomatic bilateral relationship.
Yeah, but the U.S. themselves and other countries do have embassies.
With Russia. So
it's not the question. The question is, look, here's the issue. The issue here is this, right? And this is why I asked from the beginning. What is after a year? What is Joseph Boakai's foreign policy approach that distinguishes that his approach from George Weah?
The Liberia foreign policy approach already aligned with the domestic policy.
Yeah, but you have to think.
Already aligned.
Well, you know,
the non-interference. The basic objective of our foreign policy instrument is this non-interference. It's one of the basic lines there. But it's also intertwined with our domestic policy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think Joseph Boakai knows exactly what he's doing because Joseph Boakai was the very president who said, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. And he also said something that I was very shocked when he said, which now we're seeing the manifestation of what he was saying. He basically said that small countries like Liberia just want to eat. They don't want to be involved in the fights of big countries, the U.S., Russia, and other countries. But as a close ally, and as a country where Liberians and Liberia have benefited, you got to pick a side. You can't say, well, I'm in the middle. If you want to pick the side of America, you don't always have to agree with America. But I have not seen one foreign policy approach by any government that reflects our own core value as a country to say, you know what, this is what we believe in.
But that's the objective of it.
Well, I haven't seen that. So when the deputy minister goes to Russia,
let me just say
about. Let me ask a question, right, guys? Let me ask a question quickly, guys.
Yeah.
People are asking the issue about this scam, this scholarship scam. People are saying that 4 ministries were involved. How 4 ministries allowed that the president to be scammed? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Education, Ministry of State, and Information. People, and then somebody already took a fall for it. Your brother. Now, I was told that over the weekend, the president, I won't call the name of the minister because I won't be the one to say it, but the president was about to fire one of the ministers, but the senator pro tem was at the house begging for the minister. But the president was to fire one of the ministers involved, but the pro tem was at the president's house begging for the minister to stay on. But I mean, quickly, guys. What you think somebody should be fired?
I said before you come, please allow me, please, because I want you to speak on this.
I'm going. Let me just say 30 seconds before I leave, please. I gotta go. Now, quickly for me, the fact that you suspended Nyenwolo from being in the system and saying things, that's a breach of government bureaucracy. I agree to that. But you need what to dismiss or suspend? Now, don't do that. Investigate. What the president should have done was to immediately announce to launch a kind of investigation in this matter and then the probe. The funding for the investigation, then you can move to take some action. But the fact that Nyenwolo actually breached a government bureaucracy and part of the reason he was suspended, but I learned he resigned. It's quite unfortunate that you do that to him. He's blowing. That's a serious thing he's saying here. You didn't have to go deeper into it and investigate and get the findings and move on the findings. That I thought the president would have done, and a responsible government would do.
But before you go, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, you haven't answered the question. The four ministries, anyone of the ministers should have been fired.
If they investigate, that's what I'm saying. No, I don't have to find it.
What investigate?
I think the foreign minister.
Yeah, it was a scam. It was a scam. They should not only be fired and prosecuted if they did anything wrong.
Who should be fired?
I think
the minister. End up then liable for.
No. And I start with the foreign minister. Yeah, there's one question, and then I think Asa can come in.
Do you have investigation that she's liable?
No, but here's the thing.
Or she culpable?
But here's the thing. It was announced. It was announced and launched by the president of Liberia under the leadership of the foreign minister.
The foreign minister. Okay.
Here is my question. If the president launches a scholarship scheme like what he did, are you telling me that the president he have all of these advisors, right? And some of these advisors are legal advisors, right? The law is very clear on what needs to happen legislatively when you have a third party, right, leading a loan process for scholarship.
I'll be finally sure.
Okay, and so why would the president launch this scholarship, knowing all of the information he knew about who was involved and what the third party was doing, without actually getting any kind of legal advice from his legal advisor on whether or not they were on the side of the law before launching this process? Why?
But Robert, you asked a very intelligent question. One thing that is a characteristic feature of the Bouakai administration is that this is a government that doesn't take interest or has zero reputation for doing due diligence. In other words, doing due diligence is not one of the strong points of this government. It started far back when Bouakai started nominating people and pulling them back and changing their letter and doing all of that. So they don't do due diligence. You come back to the Lofa guy from LRA, the Lofa guy who said LRA revenue guy. He gave our money to a Lofa Peking who was at Commerce. The Peking went and bought a custom-made car for himself, even though the money was meant to buy 3 cars. So there was no due diligence done. And Bouakai gave the man, free pass. Said, look, even though you made the government to lose a lot of money, the money you gave the boy, you did no due diligence. The boy wasted the money and bought a custom-made car. He didn't penalize that LRA guy because he's a big Lofa guy. Bouakai is a dangerous trouble bigger. So they don't do due diligence, right? And because they don't do due diligence, they are now grappling with a difficult challenge with the president launching a fraudulent scheme in the name of providing scholarship for our children. A young minister, even though spoke on a term, is being penalized. Yet still, they will not even do the simplest courageous thing of investigating this matter. If somebody did something that brought the president's reputation or his image into disrepute, what are you going to do? You just leave it? That Nyenwolo will be the veteran. Nyenwolo is a way back, far from the thing. He's just somebody who was just anxious to stay true. I work at Minister of Information. I mean, the man who going, he junior me and even your knowledge that those are all who work in government before. We know what the protocol is. You can't work for the government as a communicative person and critique the government in public. It's a no-no for every government. That one's clear. You can't do it, right? So he did it. He fell in trouble. But the thing he talked about is the government not embarrassed by it. They can't check. They can't investigate it. You know. So I mean, black guy just showing to us over and again that something that's not right with him as a leader. That's why even up to Blanca being elected, his former boss did not really, campaign vigorously for him. His former boss was reluctant. You understand it? Because something she knew that we all did not know. Look at the government. The entire cabinet of the government has no opposition present. Zero. And they're comfortable with it. Even as big as America is, with all the people educated and sophisticated, when Kamala Harris was running a well-to-do campaign, all of her campaign trails, she said, I will include opposition. I will include Republican. She was talking about inclusive government. Now we got Trump, but that's a different ballgame. So even in Liberia, where the professional, basket is tiny, the government just run by only United Party people because no opposition in the cabinet. The few times they made some effort to get one or two opposition people, but to diplomatic posts. And even at that, one minute, even at that.
I want to help you there. But
yeah.
I'm hearing that the meeting they had over the weekend, the UP meeting, I'm hearing that they call for your men to be recalled. They shouldn't gain the job.
I'm still in flight. That's the point I was talking about to make. Yeah. So even because Brian is now a cabinet minister, he's an ambassador at the rank of deputy ministers. So he's not cabinet, but even when Brian rearing his head, people are still saying he's not Lofa guy. I read an article, right? A young man who is on record for acknowledging all the Garguah pieces of experience, a wealth of experience. Garguah experience went to, he did. The same young man wrote a piece decrying, condemning Louis Brown's experience. If experience is the skill upon which to employ people in government, Louis Brown should be head of the government because he got wealth of experience. But they say Louis Brown is not from Lofa. So you not go, his experience, it doesn't matter. What kind of country are we trying to build? Today, we're talking about foreign policy and the other men trying to double talk and the government double talking. But look, what happened in recent time? A man believed to be a stepson of Mr. Bwaka was arrested in Japan. Some people say he was carrying diplomatic passport. How he got it? What role he played? We don't know.
He got diplomatic passport.
He's been on official trip with the president.
He traveled president of China.
Yeah.
So you see the point we're making now, brother? So diplomatic passport are being given to what? Alleged criminals. And everybody in Liberia who is in the social arena, who has been drinking beer around with Barapoto and some of the people who drink beer with him, they know his operation. Bwaka cannot on Bible case. Like he didn't know that they Peking were engaged in dodgy activity. I double dare the president to case Babu and say, I didn't know what kind of work Poto have been doing around. When they call him Isa up. How did he get a name Isa up?
He had a real job in decades.
He's been doing that black money.
So let's double dare our leader. Let's double dare our leader to case the Bible that he didn't know that his stepson was engaged in the dodgy business that he gained diplomatic passport. Brother, we have a problem here. There's a problem here. You can't look. It's a pity that some people has lost their soul to seek offensive. It's a pity that some of the brothers will not be courageous to speak truth. Some people are afraid to be criticized and condemned, so they want to cover their head. For me, I think it is the unvarnished truth that will help this country. If Liberia will move anywhere further. Look, and that's why I started talking the truth. I know Brother Kofa, where he is, he may not be comfortable with some of the things I said. I have acknowledged that removing him in the manner that provided for in the Constitution is wrong. But if you will be a real truth teller, I think Amara Kone has offered more critique of this government than the CDC speaker called Kofa. That's true.
It's true.
We get out to power. This is what, look, I know Kofa for a long time. He's my big brother. I believe Kofa can't talk too much. He didn't have to do it. When the people don't like you, they will not like you no matter what you do. Bouaka came to power. The first thing Bouaka started to do was to ask for Kofa citizenship. They don't really need to tell Kofa say these people are ready to get issue with you. They didn't see it coming. Kofa was Minister of State in the Stirling administration, where Bouaka was vice president. Kofa became lawmaker elected by his people, deputy speaker. Then he became speaker. When the Unity Party came to power, they asked for his citizenship, questioned his citizenship in the court. There was public outcry. The Unity Party got shamed and withdrew that case. Did that not send Kofa a signal that these people got issue? But he still decided to cartoon. He still decided to play alone. Today, see what they're doing. See what they're doing. Just to remove one man, the whole legislature, nothing working there. So you can see what grudges can do. When people carry grudges, they will stop at nothing. That's why, in a taxi way, I'm telling Brother Kofa, if you can come up with a zinger, come up with a zinger. If you can perform the political jiu-jitsu, and you got the capacity, the wherewithal, and the financial resources to support it, you can do it. Because, brother, what more can we do now? What more can we do? You cry for the law to protect you, but God doesn't respect the law. What are you going to do? How do you deal with a president who uses nefarious means to subvert the Constitution to get his ends meet? How do you deal with that kind of president?
Well, he stays on, continuing to fight. And if the government shuts down, let the government shut down. Because, hey, the legislature does not have a record for the past 35 years of doing anything that have benefited the country to begin with. So we have no budget passed. Majority of the folks in the country don't depend on government anyway to survive, right? We'll continue to send remittances back home for our families to buy food and pay their school fees. Shut the damn government down if that's what happens. But to your point, this is what pisses me off when it comes to Kofa. And again, politically, I don't understand how his removal benefits Joseph Boakai, because again, he has given Joseph Boakai everything.
Everything he wanted.
Opposition voice and object. Look, that's not what we expected of Kofa. And so when it comes to the political issue, I see why people might have a problem with him. But that does not negate the fact that these guys have not respected the laws. And they have not been guided by the law.
And Robert, they will not respect the law.
Yeah, but guess what? Then Kofa stands up and fight until the law is respected. He must not waver. He must not succumb. He must not resign, because we must bring an end to this whole. We must bring an end to this nonsense. Just because Edwin Snow resigned under pressure, just because Tyler resigned under pressure, does not mean that what they did was right. These guys must learn how to respect the laws. You want to remove the speaker? Get 49 persons, give him due process, go into joint chambers. You don't have 49 persons? Go out there, campaign, liaison. Look, do what you need to do, but the laws must be respected. He can't resign. But I don't blame these guys. I blame for Nati Kofa. Because for Nati Kofa have not stood up to this president. He has not stood up to this president as we expected him to stand up to this president. He's giving this man everything they wanted. I blame him.
Well, gentlemen, look, you're my fear here. My fear here, we can talk and talk. It is very clear that the president intend, he have already violated the law. He intend to violate it more. He intend, and he have placed that at the back of his mind. We saw Mo Ali and Alex Tyler brother, who's the Minister of Transport, appearing before the illegal majority bloc. The next thing, we saw the president sending budget to them. Augustin Gafwan wants to be president of Liberia. Is that how he's going to proceed in going along with a president who violated the Constitution? Is that how he's going to become president of Liberia? You know, we see at the budget that the president intends. He's leaving, going on his honeymoon to visit his family in Sierra Leone. He's going there. He's leaving, and he knows what's going on. It was calculated stuff for today. He said, we'll stick that budget to the goddamn RLJ. He left the country, and then we see what's going on in the country. Is that any serious that this president intends to do it, and he would do it and nothing will come out of it. That's the country Liberia had turned her to. That's the country Liberia had turned her to, and he would do it. You know, he doesn't care what happened. He doesn't care if he runs again. We awarded him a very lucrative job, retirement job, very lucrative retirement job. So he doesn't care what happened. I mean, you have a president who's been in power for 11 months, can't say nothing. A president who sit there and let people scan him that he was talking to. He was talking to AI and talking to Elon Musk, who sit there and brought fake $25 million scholarship. A president who's sitting there and were breaking fake with some crooks that were breaking ground for a center in Marshall. Do you expect anything? He does not know what is going on in his government, and he ain't care to know, or he's just not capable to lead the country. He's not.
I think he's incapable of leading the country. That's a baseline. He's incapable of leading the country.
Yeah, Robert, you said something that is actually profound here, and I believe I want to agree. Well, part of the reason why you say you want to blame Kofa a little bit, part of the reason I'm saying here is that Kofa was trying to appease the president to not remove him. See that you are afraid of. The thing you are afraid of, like, I can't after him, to be very frank. All the things yeah, you're trying to play ball, right? Now for Snow, he was trying to avoid what Snow did. Snow became very combative to Madam Sirleaf in his initial days as speaker. Madam Sirleaf said, no, this boy is not going to survive here. I'm going to get rid of him. Right? Madam Sirleaf put the line. And at the time for that removal process, Bob Jallah was one of those agents of the propaganda machinery to remove their speaker. He defended the process.
No, you're wrong. Right? You're wrong.
Bob Jallah defended it to his soul.
You're wrong.
Bob Jallah was.
Can I correct you? I allow you on the foreign ministry thing. I allow you. Let me correct you.
Okay, go ahead.
So this one is not. You know, I mean, I know people in the audience will want to blame me for everything Ellen Manasseh did because I served as deputy minister. But at the time of the snow removal, but then I was not in government. So I was. In fact, Snow himself would come here and testify on the public record. I used to go to court along with him. I remember one of those instances. The time they passed the judgment in his favor. No, I think it was the Brian. I'm mistaken. It was the Brian time. It was the Brian time. I used to go with.
I didn't say you're in government then. What I'm saying, I didn't say you're in government then.
But
I'm saying that was the time you came out with this famous interview that Madam Sirleaf brought in repatriated biograms.
But what the point now? So yes, I was not in government. So the point I'm making is.
The point at the time you started defending Madam Sirleaf now.
No. Listen, don't confuse the thing.
I mean, the whole thing.
You mistaken plenty of things. The snow removal, I was not in government.
I didn't like that.
So what are you alleging now? What's the point you're trying to make?
I'm saying you defended Madam Sirleaf's decision to remove Snow, saying that it was a decision the president was doing to allow a speaker to work over. You defended the process, but we don't want to go to that.
No. You see, that's why I said you're wrong, because at that time, Snow was my friend, so I couldn't have been basically arguing again, for the removal of my friend. That's the point I'm making to you.
But Robert, to your point quickly, what I'm trying to say, Robert, here is that the speaker, all the thing I thought if the speaker would have been combative, probably he would have said this regime today. I thought he should have been combative. But he said, imagine the speaker on a only move with the president in room when the whole coup d'etat started. Imagine? Right, so again.
But the other thing is again, Pewee. There are two different scenarios we're trying to compare. The Snow thing, you would really agree, if you want to be fair-minded, that Snow did not, Madam Sirleaf have the international cloud. And by then, Snow did not have that wherewithal to do the battle he was trying to engage in. He didn't. In this instant case, I think the reverse is true. Bouaga doesn't have that strong international connection. Comparing to Mr. Snow, Mr. Speaker, Kofa, his skill, his dexterity, his legal knowledge, I think he could exercise more leadership than Snow. Man, Snow even went to Taiwan, even made that thing worse for him. You understand? So Snow wanted to fight a war that he didn't have the sophistication to fight.
And let me
This
add to
case, in this case, Kofa got the sophistication. Kofa got the opposition, real opposition, block CDC number with him. So what's stopping for doing something like that?
And attorney, you will continue. I just want to add to your point. Kofa, the country was not split as it is because JMB does not have a mandate.
No,
how many votes?
17,000, less than SKG capacity.
The ATS. You said SKD ATS.
No, I said less than. So you can put it ATS, put it SKD. Less than SKD capacity. You know,
I think Kofa brought it on himself. He should have stood firm. I think he would have survived this process.
At least we're leaving the show. We're leaving the show with a consensus.
No. On this one, there's a consensus on this one. People will have a tablet, but on the Lofa County situation, there's no consensus.
Obviously, you're from Lofa County. Obviously, you're from Lofa County.
So on this one, there's a consensus. But on the Lofa County process, there always be consensus here on this one. There always be consensus. I've never deviated from this line, but the point that Lofians are running the government, no, that would speak holistically to Lofians. That's why I'm trying to clarify, and that's my disagreement here. That's all. So on this one, I mean, being consensus on this one ever since, I believe that Kofa needs to step firm on this process. All the reason why they're succeeding in getting rid of him is because he was going too deep inside the government. They didn't take that lightly. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that Garguah would do this to him. On the most serious note, you know. Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, we're going to devise. We're going to talk about a way forward. I don't know what would be the way forward.
Way forward now. Let's hear from you, Isaac.
I don't know what the way forward is going to be like for Brother Kofa. I'm told that his legal counsel. The councils are basically fired a writ of mandamus to basically compel the 43 people, lawmakers, to go on a gabble. Because mandamus basically compel government officials to perform their statutory duty, meaning they have to go to the chamber to do business. I don't know how that solves this problem. I don't know whether it basically will solve the problem. What that rate will only do, it will bring additional pressure to bear on the people who don't want to go on his gabble. Now, assuming the Madam was rendered in his favor, the Constitution still says you must compel the people. How to compel those people, the Constitution doesn't clearly define. So it's still a difficult dance, you know. The challenge he's dealing with now is it can be seen in a Basel aphorism. The spirit is not fearful without the lightning bulb. The spirit is really fearful when they have the lightning bulb. The lightning bulb, what the Basel people call glowing one. You know, when the spirit comes in, you have the glowing one, the lightning bulb flashing at it. That's what makes the spirit fearful. The point I'm trying to make is the gavel. The authority the gavel commands. It commands that authority when 37 people sit on it or more. In the instant case, he has not been able to get that 37 people to sit to make that business that will make the president afraid. That will, you know, the glowing one. Because if we had 37 people behind Mr. Speaker, that the glowing one, then the president would have been intimidated. Would not have been dancing dancing now. So it's a difficult way it's completely difficult how to navigate under these circumstances. While Robert Vance, which is a little more radical, is what Mr. Kofa, if he has the resources, will be able to do. But if he doesn't have that resources, soon and very soon he'll block. The 30 people, some of them will cave in because they want power, they want committee to go on. You know what I mean? They can't make business, you know. And you can understand why the president will not, you know, send the budget to cover. Because if the president was to send the budget to cover, 30 people can't make business. You know, they will not work with the budget. So it's a little complicated there. So I'm just saying, if he wants to put up a big fight, he will need the resources to mobilize the country. and perform what I keep repeating myself about, the political jujitsu, where he turned his disadvantage into advantage by making the public opinion to buy in on his side. Because if you can mobilize the vast majority of our people to come out to the Capitol building or to go to the hotel where the 43 men are being held, to put pressure on them to stop polluting the ballot politics, then you can see something, you will see movement. But in the absence of that, it will be a regular political conversation that we'll all keep and then file for history.
Quickly
Now we
from
got
my
5
end.
minutes. Now we just got
Yeah,
5 minutes.
quickly from my end. I believe here's what I'm going to say, and it's unfortunate, and I didn't want to see this happen, but I believe that Kofa doesn't have the resources to counter the government. This government we're talking about here. So he's going to buy some time. Eventually, and what the government is trying to do now, the information we're getting from behind the scene, I think they're trying to co-opt most of the guys in his camp. So if they can just hit 7-8 persons, Kofa is done. So eventually it's going to. So it's quite unfortunate. It's undermining the rule of law, but I don't think Kofa will survive beyond the Thanksgiving, the 28th, or the end of this month. They're going to do everything to pump some money in the process, co-opting some of these guys to break his rank. And the moment you break his rank, if Kofa would just fall short of 25, if he fell short of 25 lawmaker, he's done. So that's the process, Val. That's my fear. So I don't think he can change this process because he needs serious resources. I don't think he got our resources to challenge the government. It's going to be a difficult process. Fano was speaker for almost 10 years. When said he already prepared to get rid of him, I mean, everything at the end of the government will surface at the end of the day. It's quite unfortunate that we headed to this direction, but I don't see Kofa surviving this process. I will think Kofa the next session week after tomorrow, the next session week round, my prediction is Kofa will have been done, and that's what I foresee. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. It's pitiful. It's unacceptable. But that's the hard reality.
All right, guys. Now we got 2 or 3 minutes. Robert, then we'll be done.
Yeah. So I may excuse my arrogance, but it's unfortunate that we are even talking about resources to convince folks to do the right thing. And this is where my frustration comes in place. And this is where one will say, I know after this show, people always call and say, hey, Robert, when you come back to Liberia, we'll have to sit you down and talk to you about the Liberian society, right?
About the chemistry on this side.
Yes, right? Because the way you think is not the reality. But the reality here is Kofa, there's no other way they should end other than the fact that these guys should be made to respect the rule of law. And you know what? Even if the government uses resources, instead of investing the resources where it's needed, and they use resources to support these guys' actions and convince folks to leave the Kofa block and come on the other side to remove him, at least the record will reflect that Kofa was not pressured to resign because a group of men and women said that they did not want him to no longer be speaker. They followed the process. I want this process to end where the rule of law is respected, no matter how it was influenced, but at least the rule of law is respected. They got the 49, they went into John Chambers, they allow him due process, and they voted him out. This is the process that I respect. But I want to tell Kofa, I hope you've learned your lessons. I hope you learn your lessons, because again, what you've done here, you miss an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity to truly stand up as an opposition voice and to actually ensure a divided government, one that would ensure check and balance. And that I don't think that happened. I think that he was really too nice to this government and to this president, and what he was afraid of essentially happened. But the rule of law must follow. The rule of law must be, our actions, especially lawmakers, Dr. Peabody, must be guided by the rule of law. And I do not just respect people, especially in the position that these guys are in, and not following or being an exemplary of the rule of law. And it's discouraging.
So, Isaac Jackson, 2 minutes, just one minute, one quick word, and let's go to that.
obviously, it's a sad thing that people who are makers of the law will be seen violating the law in the manner in which they've done. But I think they took their lead from the president. The president has been very brazen in his conduct by violating our law routinely. And I'm sure the lawmakers are picking upon what the president started to do from the inception of the government. The honor is on all of us Liberian people to do right by the people. The Liberian people need to stand up for the Constitution. I started with this, I will end with that. Stand up for the Constitution. The Constitution calls for our people assembling, which is a form of protest, to petition the government to do right. Our people have seen that the government is not doing right. They have seen that Bouaka is putting his personal interest above the interests of the vast majority of the people in the country. If Mr. Bouaka can see the level of poverty that is all across the country, and he will invest in his personal security or buying $1.1 million Jeep for himself, it just shows to you that he is out of touch. Almost 80 years, well, over putting 80 years, somebody will say, oh, but he's 79. I'm 79 or 80, not far. But 79-year-old person is still focusing on his personal well-being and forgetting the well-being of those thousands of people who stood in the queue to elect him. Liberia is supposed to be about reconciliation. Liberia is supposed to be seen as a bastion of recovering from the arches of war. Now we have a president that is slowly pushing us back to war by his conduct, action or inaction. When you become president, and everywhere around the world, the concept of political inclusion is intended to sustain democracy and peace, and you will trample upon it. Then you're pushing the country back to where it came from. He said he comes from a progressive background. One of the mantra of Gabriel Bacchus Matthew was what? Inclusive governance. He said the vast majority of the people were excluded from the executive governance of the country. And so we need to include people. Today, Bouaka cabinet is entirely Unity Party. And Unity Party people still want to celebrate that. They just show that people don't learn from history. It's clear. They're proving Hagar right, that you don't learn from history. So we have a problem here. We have a problem here. I just want to tell Liberia, encourage my brother Amara Kone. Amara Kone did a recent post that I admire. The post, considering that self-diplomatic mission, the post was a taxed diplomatic notice.
Yeah, one year notice in hindsight.
Yeah, it was a taxed diplomatic notice to Bouaka. I read his post and I smiled. I said maybe he leaving that stage where he was beating on them. Now he reminding them in a subtle way. He said, you made a promise, you yet to do this. You know, we need people to stand up for Liberia. Even if you're doing it with a feeble voice, do it anyhow. That is the sure way to get Liberia on track. Liberian people, if you're tired of what Bouaka is doing, misgoverning the country, stand up for the country. Kofa did not stand up for the sanctity of that constitution as we thought he was done. That's why this are befalling him. Liberian people, if you do not stand up for the sanctity of your constitution will be blatantly violated every day in your own eyeball, and you will cry and nobody will come. Stand up for Liberia. I thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching. God will be back on tomorrow. Again, Liberian law, I don't trust it, and I will never trust the law in Liberia. I don't know what Chairman Kofa will do, but it's tough, guys.
But Bouaka been 79 years over 5 years. What is his actual age? Is he 79?
86 years old. That's why he know what's going on around him. My man, Robert, I see you. Robert, we'll see you this weekend, right?
Yeah. This weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro.